Hi guys, I'm Shazad and welcome on our YouTube channel. Today's we're gonna teach you Bootstrap 5. So this is the crash course. You're gonna learn maximum thing with minimum time. We're gonna start from the zero, like what is the Bootstrap, what are the frameworks, how can you download the Bootstrap, how can you attach the Bootstrap file, how many ways to download and attaching the Bootstrap file. We're gonna discuss about the composer, which is a dependency manager. You can download the Bootstrap file by using the composer, and also we're gonna discuss that how can you use thousands of classes in this video. We're gonna also discuss the responsiveness and also mobile ready or the device ready mechanism known as grid system. We're gonna give you some tips and tricks so you guys can easily understand, and we're gonna give you an overview that how can you create a particular project in a single video. Okay, now if you're not familiar with the Bootstrap, don't worry, we are going to start from the scratch. So that's why we are covering the entire section step by step easily, so you can easily learn the each and everything from zero, from the scratch. Okay, so now we have discussed about the Bootstrap version. We know very well that you can create the responsive website by using the Bootstrap 5 or Bootstrap versions. So build fast responsive site with Bootstrap. Okay, fine. We have, this is the home page of the Bootstrap, the official website of the Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com. Okay, now you can download the version here. We are going to download the version in our later lecture. But for now, this is the home page. You can install the Bootstrap by using the Node.js, install by using this command, or you can also use the Bootstrap by using the composer. If you are using a composer, you can also download the Bootstrap 5 version. Okay, or Bootstrap X version, either it's a 4, 3, 2. Okay, now as you can see, Bootstrap also providing you the JS delivery. So Bootstrap icons, they are also providing the icons out of the box. You don't need to add third-party icons like Font Awesome 4, 5. Okay, so as you can see, official theme. Bootstrap also providing the official themes out of the box, because thousands of themes already available on different kind of platforms like Theme Forest, like Theme Monsters, or some other kind of platforms. Okay, so if you are not familiar with the composer, Node.js, JS delivery, and also the icons, don't worry, we are going to explain each and everything from zero. Okay, now as you can see, this is the documentations of the Bootstrap 5. Okay, now in the introductions, you can also read the entire documentations. It's totally depend upon you, but in this series, we are not going to read the entire documentation. We cover those sections which necessary for you to create the responsive templates or the front-end sites or the website. Okay, so as you can see, quick start. You can also embed the CDN. So this is the CSS file. Just copy, paste, and add or use this file in your project. So this is the JS file. Just use this one. So as you can see, they are saying separate. If you decide to go the separate script solutions, you also have the proper and also the bootstrap.pen.js file. We will discuss about these files when we embed or add the framework in your HTML file or in your project. So as you can see, this is the modules, components. Ignore these sections, and this is the template. So this is the template. You can just copy and use this template in your project, because in this template, so you can see this is the HTML body start, body close, and also head start, head close, and they are embedding the responsive viewport, and also they have the English version. They haven't added or embedded the CSS files out of the box for you. They also have used the JS files out of the box for you. Okay, now as you can see, import globally. You can also use the doc type. So this is the HTML5 format, and also the responsiveness. You have to use the viewport. So this is the viewport you have to use in the header section. We will discuss about these things when we embed or when we are going to embed these sections in your project or in your HTML file. Box sizing, just ignore this one. Reboot. Okay, so this is the community. So ignore all these things. How can you download? So this is the download sections. How can you download your Bootstrap 5 version? You have some options available. If you are using the Node.js, you can also download by using the Node.js command, or if you are using the Composer is a dependency manager. If you are not familiar with the Composer, don't worry. We are going to download the Composer, we are going to install the Composer, and then we will download the Bootstrap 5 version by using the Composer. And you can also download the physical CSS and JS file to embed in your project. You can also have a choice to embed the Bootstrap 5. I'm talking about the CDNs. We will discuss about the CDNs in our later lectures when we embed the CDNs in our project. So don't worry if this is the overview lecture. So if you are not familiar with these things, don't worry. We are going to explain each and everything in our later lectures. But for now, it's fine. So all things, source files, CDNs, you have a package manager, npm, if you are using the Node.js, Yen, and Ruby gems, if you are using the Composer, and if you are using this command. Fine, if you're using the .NET, so a lot of documentations available here. As I says that I'm not going to cover the entire documentations. We only cover those documentations or those sections which are necessary for you. Okay, fine. So this is the content. You have the content. How can you add CSS and JS files? How can you manage your CSS and JS file? You can also use the browser and devices. Yes, supported browser and devices. So a lot of informations available here. You have a JavaScript sections. That JavaScript sections individuals are compiled using Bootstrap as modules. So dependencies, they have the selectors, events, and blah blah blah. A lot of documentations available here. You don't need to read the each and every documentations from here because I'm not going to cover these documentations. If you wish to read the documentations, you can also read the documentations here. Okay, so this is the build tools. So these are the tools. And now you have a Webpack, you have accessibility, RFS, and also RTL left to right. Okay, so fine. Now, if I click on the customize, so as you can see, you have also learned how to theme, customize, and extend Bootstrap with Sass and Bootload and blah 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 blah. Okay, you can also customize the framework available here. So this is the layout. How your layout. So this is the small, medium, large, extra large, extra large. So small size less than 576 pixels. So these are the devices dimensions. So let's suppose if you are using the iPhone 5 or 4, so this is the iPhone 5 4. If you have the resolutions 576 greater than 576 or equals to, so this is a small size, or the medium size are those sizes. Let's suppose if you are using the Node family of the Samsung, or if you are using iPhone Max or some other kind of devices, iPad, we will discuss about these things. Okay, you have a container. You have two types of container. So this is a container small. A lot of documentations available here. So this is the container. We use this container in Bootstrap 4 and also the Bootstrap 3. We already used the container in Bootstrap 2 version. Okay, so this is the information about the containers. If you're using the Sass, you can also use. So we have a grid systems. We will definitely discuss the grid systems, how we use the responsive website. So as you can see, what is grid system? Use our powerful mobile first Flexbox grid to build layout of a shape. So we'll discuss about the grid system, what is column X, what is column MD, and also the how many columns you have, how can you create or how can you divide your columns in 12, and a lot of things we are going to cover. So you have a grid system column. We'll discuss about this one. So if you have a forms, So we'll discuss about the forms. How can you create your, if you need this form, just copy and use this form in your project. That's it. Okay, so we have the components. So these are the components: badges, breadcrumbs, buttons, cards, carousels, models, list group, drop downs. A lot of things we are going to cover, so don't worry about it. So these are the helpers, utilities, and we also have the extend, about, and also the migrations. Okay guys, so now if you go to the Google or simply type getbootstrap.com, so this is the official website of the Bootstrap. So they have the latest version of the Bootstrap. So now if you click on the doc, and how can you download, click on the download section. So as you can see, you have a compiled CSS and JS file. You have three ways to download, install, and also configure the Bootstrap 5. First way is to download the CSS and JS files. Fine. The second way, you can also use the CDN. The third way, you can use the package manager or the dependency manager. So they definitely have the composer. As you can see, this is a composer. We're gonna use the composer to download the Bootstrap 5, and we're gonna also discuss that how can you download the source file and attach or use the source files in your project, or even how can you use the CDN, which is the content delivery network. So let's take the example. So this is the compile CSS and JS file. We're gonna click on the download button to download these files. I'm going to keep this file in my download section. 5.2.2 is the version of the Bootstrap for now. Now, you know very well that we have already discussed that I'm gonna use the PHP Storm. PHP Storm is a text editor, so we can use this text editor smoothly. It depends on your requirements or your need or your choice. If you're using the Sublime or any kind of text editor, it's up to you. So I'm gonna use the PHP Storm to write the HTML, CSS, and also the JavaScript or the jQuery stuff. If you find the JetBrains, so where you can download the PHP store, type the JetBrains. As you can see, they are providing the best tools for you. Go to the developer tools. As you can see, this is the PHP store. So as you can see, they're gonna give you 13 days free trial. You can have the 13 days free trial by clicking this button. Just click on this one, download this software and use this software or the IDE. Let's suppose if you are using the Sublime, then it's up to you. Make sure this is not the free, it's a paid tool. So you have to pay some dollars. If you are a student or a teacher, you can contact with them and they will provide you the 1 year free license. Okay, now I have just opened this one. So I'm gonna create a folder so we can keep all the files there. First of all, folder. As you can see, I have only a single directory. I have installed my XAMPP. So if you are not familiar with the XAMPP, don't worry, it's just a directory. So I'm going to create a directory. I'm saying bootstrap file. Fine. And now I'm going to cut this setup, which we have just downloaded, paste the setup here. Now you have few choices: double click, drag and drop. Make sure you have to install the vendor, which is a software for the compressed file. Fine. Now you can also right click and also open with the WinRAR, or click on the right click, extract file here. I'm saying extract. Now I'm going to rewrite this one. I'm saying bootstrap. Fine. So if you open these files, now as you can see, they have a CSS files, a lot of CSS file there. They also have the JS file, a lot of JS file here. So you have to add the bootstrap.mins file. This is the minimum file, and also you cannot use the bootstrap file. Similarly, go to the JS. You also have the bootstrap.min.js file and also the bootstrap.js file. Now, here I'm going to create, I'm going to open this project. So open, as you can see, this is the bootstrap file which we have just created. I'm going to create a file, new file, and I'm saying this is the HTML file. I'm saying, let's suppose index file. So here I'm saying bootstrap 5. Okay, now I'm saying how can you add the files? You can add the CSS and JS file. I'm saying link, real, style shift, href. I'm saying go to the bootstrap folder and go to the CSS folder and find the bootstrap.css file or bootstrap.min.css file. So here you can add the JS files. Go to the bootstrap JS and find bootstrap.js file. So how can you ensure that it's working or not? Just use the class button primary. So now run this index file. As you can see, if I say button, refresh the page, as you can see, it's working fine. How can you ensure that it's working fine or not? Right click and inspect element. As you can see, console is fine. But what happens if you give the wrong name of the file? Let's suppose, and definitely it will give you the error. As you can see, it's saying 404 not found. So give the wrong name of the JS file also, it will give you the error. So now it's working fine. Since we use the jQuery code, so that's why we have to embed the jQuery. So I'm saying jQuery CDN, go to the official website of the jQuery and embed the jQuery file here. I'm also checking that either the jQuery is available here or not. Bootstrap. Okay, fine. You can also use the compressed or uncompressed version. I'm saying minified version. Copy the link, paste the link above the Bootstrap file. Go to the page and refresh the page. It's fine. You have successfully embedded the jQuery, and after that you can embed the JS files. So this is the first way to embed the JS files. What happens if you are not embedding these files? As you can see, now it's not working. So this is the first way to embed the JS files. And the second way, you can use the CDN. We're going to discuss about the composer, so don't worry about it. What you need, just copy this link, paste the link here. This is the JS file. So copy this one and paste this one. Now, as you can see, if you are using a compiled JavaScript, prefer to include the proper. Fine. If you are using the compiled JS, then definitely you have to use the proper one. So once again, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now working fine. So since you have just used the CDN here, so this is the second way to add the Bootstrap file. The third way, you can, as you can see, you have a dependency manager. If you're using the Ruby gem, you can use this syntax or the code. If you are using the yen, you can use this syntax. We're gonna use the composer. Okay guys, so now as you can see, go to the CMD and find or write the composer. So once you install the composer, and if you are writing the composer in your CMD, you will have the screen like this. Fine. So now how can you do that? Just go to the Google and write the composer. As you can see, this is the official website of the composer. So at the right side, as you can see, they are saying composer is a dependency manager. So now here, if you go to the package manager, you have the composer syntax there. So go to the composer website. As you can see, they have the download button here. Just click on the download button. They have a exe file. So just click on the exe file, download the exe file, and then install your software in your machine. Once you install your software in your machines, then you are ready to go. As you can see, once you install, just go to the CMD and write the composer. You will have the screen like this. So now I'm going to install the Bootstrap 5 by using the composer. Fine. So now I'm going to my directory. As you know, we have installed or we have created the folder in our XAMPP. So now as you can see, we already have the Bootstrap file. So you need the code to run the Bootstrap setup by using the composer. As you can see, this is the syntax. So copy this syntax, paste this syntax in your composer. So you can also copy like this. Copy, paste, hit the enter button, and then you are ready to go. Wait for a few seconds because it takes time to download and install the setup for you. Since I have not updated the composer after a while. Now, wait for a few seconds. It's about to start. Now, it's starting. It's now downloading the related file out of the box for you. So now as you can see, you have a vendor folder. So open this folder and you will have the several files available there. So now here, as you can see, these are the folders available here. Just open this folder. You have the Bootstrap and you have the JS folder there. As you can see, these are the JS files. And you also have the CSS folder. So this is the official documentation of the Bootstrap 5 because we are just learning the Bootstrap 5 version. While I'm recording this lecture, the version of the Bootstrap family or the 5 is 5.0.0 beta 1 version. So they are going to launch the official version of the Bootstrap 5 family in June 2021. Okay, now as you can see, this is the component sections. Just click on the component, and here as you can see, you have accordions. So what are these things? Just click on this one, this one, this one, this one. So you can also generate this kind of functionality by using the jQuery UI, but Bootstrap provides you this mechanism or this kind of functionality out of the box for you at the same place. Okay, now if you need these things, just copy this section and use this code in your project. Okay, now as you can see, you have a flash. So fine, alert. If you want to show some warnings in your applications, so now as you can see, these are the alerts you can show on your applications or in your applications. So these are the alert sections. Now badges. So as you can see, if you are creating some kind of notifications in your applications, you can use the badges. So as you can see, these are the badges. breadcrumbs. So these are the breadcrumbs or the navigation system. So if you need this kind of functionality, just use this code. You have buttons. As you can see, these are the primary buttons available, and Bootstrap 5 provides you this kind of functionality out of the box. You also have some kind of other functionality. As you can see, these are the buttons, large buttons, some disable buttons, and also some extra large buttons. So these are the functionality Bootstrap 5 providing you. Okay, button groups. If you are combining two buttons, as you can see, these are the 3 buttons. You have to use the group button because you are grouping 3 buttons in a single or in a x-axis. So you have to use the button group class. We'll discuss about these things in our later lectures, but this is the overview of the component sections. If you click on the card, so this is the card. If you are showing the profile for your user or of your user, as you can see, this is the image, title, some content, and the button. Okay, fine. So these are the cards. So carousels, so these are the carousels, as you can see, carousels, and close buttons. So as you can see, these are the close buttons. Let's suppose if you are using the modals or some kind of other clothing functionality, you have to use the close button. So these are the collapse. So these are the collapse. Click, click. If you need this kind of functionality, just use the collapse. Drop downs. These are the drop downs available in the Bootstrap. Okay, so this is the list group. So list group. If you click on the modals, so as you can see, when you click on this one, a pop-up appears with some kind of content. If you click on the navigations bar by creating, so this is the navigation bar. If you are creating the navigation bar, we also have some kind of functionality or some kind of classes available in Bootstrap 5. You have the nav bar, the full navigations bar available here. You also have a paginations. Like if you have the paginations in your project, you can also create the paginations by using the Twitter Bootstrap 5. You also have a pop over. Why? Click on this one. It will give you the informations about this section. Let's suppose if you are creating some kind of form, you can just explain that particular form or the field by using the pop-up. Okay, you have the progress bar. If your user downloading something, you can also use the progress bar. So 25% completed, 175% completed, or something like that. Okay, so you have this functionality. We are going to, as you can see, fine. And you also have the spinners. If you are creating if your user is downloading something from your server, that means you are going to load something, so you can use the spinners. We also have the tasks, as you can see. So this is the new functionality. Tooltips, old functionality, but still working. So now this is the component sections in the Bootstrap 5 family. So a lot of things also available in the Bootstrap 4, 3 and 2. But this is a 5 version, so that's why we are going to cover one by one from here. So don't worry, this is the overview of the components. So now as you can see, if we click on the documents, as you know, we have discussed about the components in our previous lectures. But for now, when you click on the components, just click on the alerts. So these are the alert sections. So how can you create your alert sections? Let's suppose if you are creating like a system, let's suppose if you are accessing a dashboard without login, then definitely you have to redirect with some alert. So in this case, as you can see, it's saying please log in with your credentials. So this is the alert. So this is a dynamic alert, but how can you create your static alert? Because since it's a Bootstrap 5 series, and let's start. So as you can see, we have just using the buttons here. So this is around. You have to keep all rows in your containers. Okay, fine. For now, I'm just saying this is the container, and now I'm saying this is the container, and you have to place your rows inside your container. So this is the row. Make sure, if you are not familiar with the container and rows, don't worry about it, because we cover these sections like container, rows, columns in our later lectures, because this is belongs to grid systems. So grid systems are very important. So for now, how can you create your alerts? I'm saying I have a div. First of all, I have a div. Just need few classes like alert. And now, which one alert? Alert primary, because we have several alerts. Like as you can see, if I'm saying here, here is my alert for you. Okay, fine. Now open this in a browser. As you can see, it's saying here is my alert for you. And if why it's a long, because we have placed our content in 12 column. If we just forgot this one, I'm saying br to generate the row, space. Fine. Now fine. Now as you can see, it's saying this alert. If you use some other classes like info, as you can see, it's fine. If you use some other classes like danger, that means in the red color. If you use the success, that means success in green color. If you use some other kind of stuff like primary, so this is a primary color. So make sure, if you open the documentation, so now as you can see, this is alert. That means you are using the built-in classes. So primary, so this is the primary, and this is the secondary, this is the success, this is the danger, this is the warning, and I think this is the info. And these are the new things, the light and dark. So this is the light and this is the dark. So these are the classes you have to use while creating your alert system. Make sure this is the alert system without the clothing tab. So what happens if you want to use the clothing section, first of all? And the second, let's suppose if you are using a link in your alert section, so how can you do that? Okay, now I'm saying that this is the link. I'm going to use a link here, and the class for this particular link is alert link. Alert link. And now I'm saying here is my link. So go to your code, refresh the page. So now as you can see, you have just used the link in your alert section. So let's suppose if you want to add some other kind of stuff, let's suppose detailed about this alert. So how can you do that? I'm saying that I'm going to use the, so this is the alert section first of all. And now if I define, let's suppose h3 here, and I'm using the class for this heading. I'm saying alert heading. So this is for the alert heading. I'm saying alert heading here, and now I have to define the paragraphs. So for this paragraph, I'm saying that MB01. We'll discuss about this one. So don't worry about. I'm saying here is my text for you. Copy this text and paste this text. Fine. Go to your page, refresh the page. As you can see, now you have converted your alert with your heading and also with your text. And now let's suppose if you need the clothing bar, so how can you do that? Similarly, so this is your section. You need to define, I'm saying another alert. I'm going to create another alert for this one. In this case, I'm saying we have to use some extra alert or some extra classes. I'm saying alert disable fade and also show. And now I'm saying role equals to alert, and here inside this one I'm saying that I have a button and the class of this particular button is the button, and I'm saying close. And now some other attributes like data, PS, and also the dismiss. Here I'm saying alert, and also I'm saying Arial label. Here I'm saying close. That's it. Now I'm saying here is my text for you. Go to your page, refresh the page. As you can see, you have a close button. Just click on this one. As you can see, it's now fine. Refresh. If you just remove these two classes, then what happens? Just click on this one. As you can see, it's now vanishing directly. So if you need the fade out, just use this fade class to fade this one while closing. Fine. So in this way you can create your close bar with the alert. Now it's up to you, either you use manually each and every class, or if you think that you are going to use this one, what you need, just need to copy the code and paste your code in your project. That's it. You are ready to go. Okay, now as you can see, this is the dismissing, alert, dismissal, and here is a lot of documentations available. If you want to read, just go ahead and read this one. Let's suppose if you are going to use the JavaScript to close something, or for your alert sections, just use the query select. We will discuss this one because this is the basic series, so that's why we are not going to discuss in this lecture. Okay, now we are just click on the badges. So now as you can see, these are the badges. So how can you create the badges? So I'm saying this is H2, and now in the H2 I'm saying here is my badge, and here span, and now I'm going to use the badge and BG, and this is for the color. I'm saying 1. Fine. Go to your section, and now as you can see, this is the badge. So where you use this one, let's suppose if you have a notification systems, you are creating or designing some kind of notification system where you can use this one. Or let's suppose if you want to highlight something, then definitely you have to use your badge. Okay, now let's suppose this is your notification. I'm saying this is button, and now in the button I'm saying this is for button class, and type is button because we have to type of two types of button. For submitting the form, we always use the submit. I'm saying this is my notification, this is my notifications, and here I'm going to use the badge, and the class is badge PG secondary, and I'm saying 80. Now go to your page, refresh the page. As you can see, this is fine. I'm going to comment the whole code so you can easily get your code. Let's suppose I'm saying, so this is button and this is primary, not for this one. So fine. So this is notifications, but where is the button? It's because you have to use this one. Fine. So that's why it was not working. Okay, now I'm going to uncomment this one once again. So this is your badges. This way you can use your badges. So similarly, you have a lot of action options, like let's suppose if you want to define the background, what you need, just need to use the class with the primary color, secondary, success, danger, warning, and this is for the text dark. Okay, so this is the text dark. Okay, because these are the primary sections and the text is dark here. Okay, now let's copy, paste here to save our time, refresh the page. As you can see, right click, inspect element. Here, as you can see, this is the danger and the color for this one. So now as you can see, they are using the color, this one. That means you have the white color here. If you want to use the dark color, you have to use the text dark class to add the dark or to add the black color. So you can also use the pill badges. So let's suppose if you need the rounded badges, so badge, round, pills, background, primary, just use the this extra class, round pill. Let's suppose round pill, fresh. Don't worry, copy the entire code, and also I'm saying div class column 1, and now as you can see, this is the round count. So you don't need to perform the extra effort. Like if you are going to round this one, then how it possible? Then definitely you have to use the border radius 10 pixel. As you can see, it's now working fine. So why you have to use this extra class? So to save your time, because time is very important. So to save your time, you have to use the built-in classes. So these are the round pills. As you can see, use the rounded pill utility class to make badges more rounded with a large border radius. This fine. And now once again, I'm going to create the row. Don't worry if you are not familiar with the row, but for now you have to place your row inside your container, and you have to use the column inside your row, and you always use the content like h1, h2, like images, like paragraph, anything in the column. We will discuss about the grid systems in our later lectures. Okay, I'm saying column, I'm saying it. Now here I'm going to define the breadcrumbs. So basically I'm saying I have an F, and now I'm saying Arial level is, class Arial level breadcrumb, and now I'm saying I have unordered list, and the class for the unordered list breadcrumb, and here is the li, and also I'm saying that home, and now the class breadcrumb item, and it's active, and the area current equals to page. Now go to your page, go to your page, refresh the page. As you can see, this is the current. It's showing that this is the current. Like if you click on the some other page, like if you click on the About Us section, so now as you can see, you are currently viewing the About Us page, so it's active. If you right click, inspect element, so now as you can see, this is the active. So that's why this is the active and this is the previous page. Let's suppose if you have multiple links, like how can you do that? I'm saying this is the home, copy this one, and now I'm saying this is about or login, and you have to use the anchor login, and you have to use the active here because this is the active. Go to the page. Now you have two things. So this is the previous page and this is the active. Let's suppose if you have more than page, like you have in home you have user, and in user you have dashboard. So how can you do that? So similarly, active and aerial page, you don't need to use this one. So now breadcrumb item, and this is the active. Just use the active to active the last one. Let's suppose if you need the dividers for your breadcrumbs, so how can you use them? So you can also use the navigation bar. Here you can use the style and double dash BS, and now I'm saying breadcrumb divider colon. You have to use the single quotations, and now greater than sign, and here. So go to your page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, this is the greater than. If you are using the less than, then you can also use the less than sign, or any sign you can use. So these are the breadcrumb basically. Now I'm saying I have a div. Don't worry if you are not familiar with the class, like container, like row, like column, call 12. Sorry, it's a class called 12. Fine. Now I'm saying I have a button. Just use the button primary. So I'm saying this is my button. Fine. So go to your page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's saying button. Now I'm saying I'm going to use the BR section for the space. You can also use the margin or padding, but for now I'm going to use the BR. It's not recommended. Okay, now if I copy the buttons, I'm saying button, I'm going to use another danger, that means in the red format, secondary, and now I'm saying I think info, and we also have a class like success, and I'm saying this is warning. So go to your page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, even you don't have the define, you don't need to define the background colors. Coding Bootstrap 5 automatically using the built-in classes available. So as you can see, this is the primary, it's a danger, it's a I think secondary, it's info, and this is success, and this is what. So all these colors available in the button sections. So now as you can see, these are the buttons. Okay, so you can use this class in your anchor. Let's suppose if you have an anchor, you can use the same button, same class for anchor. Or let's suppose if you have a input type equals to button, and you have to use the button secondary value ABCDE. Okay, refresh the page. As you can see, the anchor is working fine, the input type equals to button is working fine, the button is also working fine. So button, you can use the button type. So fine. So this is the attribute. If you're using the submit, that means you're submitting a form. Okay, ignore this one. Fine. Now, how can you use this? How can you create this and also this one? You just need to use the button dark and button link. So it will show you as a link. So let's try. I'm saying button link. Go refresh. As you can see, it's showing link. You can also use the, as you can see, light. If you use the light class, it's fine. So in this way you can create the button. So according to the documentations, you can also read the documentations. You can use anchor, button, input type equals to button. Okay, let's suppose if you want to use this functionality like hover and also the border functionality for your button, you just need to use the, I'm going to create another, I'm going to copy, paste this one, and I'm going to create, or I'm going to use the classes for this particular. I'm saying button, but in this case I'm saying button outer line danger. Just use button, just use outer line. This is the extra outer line, outer line, outer line, outer line, outer line, outer line, and this is the outer line. Sorry. So as you can see, it's fine because it's not working. The background is white and also the color is also white. So as you can see, without doing anything, we have created this one. So you have the class for the outline: primary, secondary, success, danger, warning, info, light. So you can create this one. Okay, let's suppose these are the built-in width and height. With these are the by default button. Let's suppose if you want to use the button small, large, you can also use some extra classes. Like if you are using the button large, it will automatically, let's suppose if you use the large button, just go to your page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's showing you the large button. You can also use some other property, button SM, that means small button. I think this class is not available. Okay, now so here button large and also button small. So these are the two classes available if you want to manage your width and height for your button. Okay, now if you use the disable attributes in your element, so as you can see now it's disabled. So which one? My button. So this is not clickable. Just use disable if you want to disable this one. You can also use the disable class. As you can see, according to documentation, you can also use the disable class or the attribute. Let's suppose if you are using the disable class, go to your page, refresh the page, also the disable. It's up to you. So as you can see, if you need the full width button, you can also use the this syntax. Like if you need the full width, I'm going to create the full width button for you out of the box. Okay, now I'm going to use copy, paste, create the column and rows, and now I'm saying div, class is the D, grid, and also gap, I'm saying 2, 4. Fine. And here in the div, I'm saying this is the button, and here I'm saying button primary, my button. Fresh. As you can see, this is a full width button. Let's suppose if you are defining the 6th column, as you can see, it's automatically adjusting. If you used 2 columns, it will automatically adjusting. We'll discuss about how it's work or how it's working. So what is the logic behind this functionality? I'm talking about the columns, because this is the grid systems, and you know very well that we are going to explain or discuss about the grid systems in our later lectures, because grid system is advanced topics. Okay, now let's suppose if you want to disable this one, same thing, just use disable now. You can also use the disable attributes if you want to disable a particular element. It's totally depend upon you. Okay, you also have some kind of other functionality like toggle or something like that if you are creating the toggle functionality. So now as you can see, this is the toggle. As you can see, they are using the col 6, so that's why it's showing us the column 6 buttons. So we'll discuss about the grid system, don't worry about it. I'm saying gap 2, that means okay, if you create the second bad boy, the second, okay, as you can see, gap is 4. Right click, inspect element. If you click on the button, as you can see, the gap is the property. Where is the gap? It's okay, fine, here is the gap. So this is the gap 1.5. so this is the functionality. So okay, so it's up to you. How can you manage? Just as you can see, if you want to align your buttons, how can you do that? I'm saying, as you can see, this is the code and this is the grid, gap 2, flex, justify content, and so it's a right. It's showing you the right. You have some few plugins, how can you use them? You also have a toggle stat. If you click on the button group section, so this is a button group. So now as you can see, these are the buttons available here. So that's why we are saying combining more than one buttons by using some group classes. Okay, now I'm going to comment this code so you can easily get the code. Now I'm creating a row. It's a row and a column. You know that you have to place your row inside your container and you have to place your column inside your row. And also if you are creating some kind of content like buttons, like breadcrumbs, like button groups, like paragraphs, h1, you have to place in your columns. So I'm saying column, 12. Here now I'm saying I'm creating a div, and here I'm saying this is the button group. That means we are going to group some buttons. I'm saying role group, and now I'm saying Arial label, also basic example for Shakespeare. Here now you just need to create some buttons, and now, oh sorry, it's by default type is button. So now I'm saying class button primary, but you have to use the button. I'm saying 1, I'm saying 2, I'm saying 3, go to fresh page. As you can see, it's fine. I'm going to use the BR to break our rows. Refresh the page. Fine. Here, basically, we are using 3 buttons and we are grouping together. So, button 1, 2, 3. You can also use the anchor, anchor, anchor. It's up to you. Fine. If you are using the input type equals to button, it's totally depend upon you. Where you use these kind of buttons. If you are familiar with the paginations, you use the paginations to create the button. You use these kind of button groups to create the paginations. Like I think we have paginations available on this one. This is the paginations. Okay, now this is the first example. Now the second example, just use the active class to active the button. So these are the 3 buttons. Now as you can see, the first one is now activated. As you can see, without active class, fine. If you use the active class, it's now active by default. You can also use like I'm saying secondary, and this is danger. It's totally depend upon you. You can also use the outer, which we have discussed in our outer line, dark, fresh. As you can see, fine. Copy, paste, paste, fine. So because this is the active, I'm saying primary, and here I'm saying secondary. Okay, now it's hard for me to create each and everything from the scratch, like defining the div, defining the element inside the div. Okay, now I'm going to copy the content from the website and I'm going to use that particular code here. Let's suppose if you have the radio buttons and also you have some kind of checkbox, you can also group them in a div, like as you can see, this is the checkbox, these are the checkboxes. So similarly, so these are the checkboxes, checkbox. So this is a label for the checkbox. This is one checkbox, second, third, and you are grouping the checkbox button group. Okay, fine. Just copy and use here. Fresh, as you can see, it's working fine. Okay, now as you can see, these are the radio buttons. Similarly, radio buttons. Why you are using the button groups here? Class, fine. So these are some other attributes, and here as you can see, type is radio button, class is button check, fine. And these are the attributes for to send. I think. Oh, sorry. If you use the PHP, then definitely you have a server. Okay, forgot this one. We'll discuss about these things while creating the project. Okay, fine. Now this is the ID for this button, this is ID for this button, autocomplete off. So button toolbar. So now as you can see, these are the buttons you definitely use while creating the paginations for your particular page. So now as you can see, toolbar. So this is the toolbar here. As you can see, if you copy this one, we're going to explain out of the box for you. So now as you can see, these are the BR button. Now as you can see, these are the button groups. Here as you can see, this is the button group, this is second button group, this is third button group. Basically these are the 3 button groups. These are the buttons combining, you are combining in 3 groups. So first group, second group, third group. So that's why you wrapped these buttons inside your button group. So okay, why you are using 2? Because you are using, let's suppose if you have some kind of, okay, right click inspect element, you can also view your class. Why you are using this one for the spacing, so that's why. Okay, now as you can see, this is the main div. Starting from here, you are using the button toolbar. That's it. You are using a single class to wrap your multiple groups. You can also use the, as you can see, toolbar. Similarly, these are the buttons and it's grouped by one, and this is the second group. As you can see, this is second. And also if you full right or if you right align your button, so now as you can see, justify content between. Let's suppose copy this bad boy, fresh. As you can see, this is, now you just need to remove, find. That's why you are using justify content between. Okay, you also have sizing. You can size your, let's suppose, button group large. Just use the, let's suppose here is the button group, and you have to use the button group large, small, button group large or small. So this is the large. If you use SM, that means small. It's up to you. So this is the sizing. If you are using the nesting, so as you can see, this is a drop down available here in your button group. So these are two buttons, and now as you can see, this is the button, and also in the button group, because these are the button groups, two buttons inside here, and you are using the button group inside your button group. That's why we are saying nested. So button groups, and also you are using the UL and LI. You also have the vertical. What you need, just need a single class like button group vertical. Let's suppose if you are using the button group vertical class, then definitely it will show you as a vertically. So how? Let's suppose I'm going to, not let's suppose, I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Let's suppose I'm going to use the row and column. It's 12 column, and now I'm saying this is the button, and now I'm saying class button denture. Let's suppose my button. Now this is your button. If I use multiple BR, that means for the, okay, now this is your button. What happens if you are going to use the external CSS? Like I'm going to create the CSS link style, link type text CSS, and now I'm saying href, and now I'm saying real style sheet. Why we are saying real about this one? Because this is the advanced topic. We will discuss this one, I think, in the end of this course. Now where is the, I'm saying custom style, custom_style.css file. So we have to create the custom style sheet, but in the assets folder. I'm saying, okay, first of all, I'm going to create the assets folder, assets. So this is assets. I'm going to create another directory inside the assets like CSS, and in the CSS I'm going to create a CSS file. So now I'm saying creating a CSS file, and now I'm saying custom style, you don't need to specify .css. Okay, so as you can see, we have created the CSS. Now I'm saying assets. In the assets, I'm saying CSS. In the CSS, I have a custom file. So how? Control space. Press the control button and hit the space to get your desired folder or the file. Now in the CSS file, I'm saying copy this one, and now I'm saying by default the color is red. I'm saying background green. Refresh the page. As you can see, now it's green. If you are doing like this, then what happens if you define another button, danger, another button? Definitely. So you never update or you never change anything from the core class. You can also change this one, it's totally up to you, but we recommend that you have to specify your class like XYZ, and you have to call this class to change the property for this class. Let's suppose green. For now this is green. Let's suppose now you are going to use a button. I'm saying another button. Refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's fine. Sounds good. So you don't need to specify this one. If you are changing the property for your core classes, it will automatically use or change the desired property and the value on your single file or the entire project. So that's why we are saying you have to specify your class name to change the property for this particular element or any element. Okay, this is not for the button. Let's suppose if you are using the alert, if you are using the div and you are using alert primary, and you are saying here is my alert for you. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now you have an alert. If you want to change the background color for this alert to copy or pasting or to using the built-in classes. Why we are saying built-in classes? Because these are the core classes or the built-in classes available in this framework. Let's suppose if you are changing the background color red, fine, you have done. But what happens when you use add other page or other files? Definitely it will apply or add the property and the values for this particular class. So that's why we are saying that you have to define your ABC or any type of class ABC, and now fine, if you create another div and saying alert primary alert, here is another alert for you. Refresh the page, save file, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's working fine. But make sure you have to define the unique class. You don't need to use the core class. You have to define some kind of unique class to customize your element, any kind of element. I'm going to create the trigger star from scratch so you guys can easily understand. So for the spacing, we use the BR. We can also use the margin. I'm saying marge top. It's a class. And now I'm saying margin top 20 pixel. Fine. I have to use this class here. You don't need to use the BR here. Okay, now I'm saying I have a class. Make sure it's a div. progress, and now I'm saying inside this div I have to create another div. I'm saying that this is the progress bar, and you need three things: your minimum value, maximum value, and also the current value, and also you have to define the width of your progress bar. Now I'm saying role equals to progress bar, and I'm saying area minimum value is 0. Here I'm saying area maximum value is 100. Here I'm saying area current value is 0. Now go to your page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's working fine, the progress bar. Now you have to why it's showing empty? Because you have to define the width of your progress bar. I'm saying width equals to 25%. Now as you can see, it's showing you that 25% of your progress. Now if I say that 70%, if I say 101%, because you have defined the maximum value is 100, so that's why it's not exceeding. If you use the -1, what happens? I don't know about it. -1. Okay, now as you can see, it's not working fine here. If you right click, inspect element, and go to the console, as you can see, everything is working fine. So minimum value is 0, so that's why it's not accepting this one. Maximum value is 100, so now it was not accepting 101 value, and your current value is 0. Okay, now if I'm saying that this is the 75%, that's great. So this is the progress bar. So now how can you show the actual percentage in your bar or the progress bar? Just use this one. It's fine because the current value is 75, and we are also giving the 75 width. And now as you know that we are giving the 75 here and 75 here, that means we have to use the 75 also here. Boom, it's working fine. So now as you can see, it's showing you the 75. Fine. What happens if you need the background colors for your bar or the progress bar? Let's suppose I am saying BG success. That means success. As you can see, it's showing you the green. Similarly, we also have BG primary. It will give you the primary color. If you use the BAG danger, it will give you the red color. If you give the warning, it will give you the orange type color. If you are saying this is the secondary, it will give you the secondary. So it's up to you. Let's suppose you are creating another bar, and it's saying that this is the success. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's showing you 75% and 75%. I'm going to create another. We'll discuss about this one. So now if I'm saying that this is the BR, it's fine. Instead of using BR, you have to use the margin top. Fine. So you can create your background color, or you can use your background colors classes like this. What happens if you need multiple colors in a single progress bar? So how can you do that? Now if I'm saying that this is the progress inside your, this is the progress bar, then definitely you have to use another progress bar here. And now I'm saying this is the success, this is primary,
This is success. I'm going to create another and another bar. Now in this time it's 25%. All are 25%. So you can meet the 100% criteria. So here I'm saying 25%, 25%, 25%, and this is the 25%. Also it's a 25. Now go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's saying 25, 25, 25, 25. So it's a secondary, and now in this time it's a warning. And now here we can use the info. Refresh the page. So now as you can see, you have a single progress bar with multiple backgrounds and multiple stats. So in this way you can use a single progress bar with multiple stats and multiple backgrounds. What happens if you need the strip? So for the strip you just need some extra classes, like I'm saying progress bar strip. Go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's showing you the strip. If I'm saying I'm going to use another class which is animate, refresh the page, it's not animating. We have to use some extra classes. We'll discuss about the animations. For now you can use the strip to show you the stripping in your progress bar. Okay, now for the animate, if you want to animate your progress bar, so how can you do that? We are going to create another progress bar, like I'm saying this is the progress, and now I'm saying I'm going to create another progress bar. So this is a single class for the progress bar, and now I have to use progress bar stripped, and I'm saying progress bar animate. And for the role of the progress bar, I'm saying role equals to progress bar, and also the same values for this one. Copy this one, paste this one, and also fine. Now go to the page, refresh the page. If you use this class, as you can see, it's now animating. By using these two, strip and animate, it's now showing you the animations like this. If you are not using the strip, as you can see, it's not showing you the animations. So if you want to use the animations for your progress bar, you have to use these two classes separately, not separately, in the same div. Component sections, we have a collapse. Where is the collapse? This is the collapse. So now as you can see, toggling the visibility of content across your project, blah blah blah, and they are saying how it works. The collapse JavaScript plugin is used to show and hide your content or something by using button or anchor. Okay, so let's create the collapse. I'm saying I'm going to comment this one so you guys can easily get the code. Okay, now comment, and this is the code. Okay, now I'm saying open this one. I have to delete the whole progress bar, and now okay, now I'm saying this is the button, and for the button I'm saying it's a class button primary, and we have to create some divs, and the class is for this particular divs is collapse, and I have to create another div, and now I'm saying that this div has some few classes, cart, and also the card body. If you are not familiar with the card and card body class, don't worry, we are going to explain card and card body classes in our later lectures, but for now these are the just classes. Here I am saying these are the, here is my content. Sounds good. Now here I have to set some few few properties. Like it's a type equals to button. First of all, because it's a simple button, we are not using this button to submit the form. Now I'm saying data BS, and it's a toggle. I'm saying collapse. Copy this one, paste this one here, and I'm saying that data BS target. Which target? I have to create the ID here. I'm saying ID, I'm ABC. So copy this ID and paste this ID here like this. Fine. Now I'm saying that area controls equals to this one ABC, and also once again I'm saying area expanded equals to false. Now go to your page, refresh the page. Here I'm saying for this button I'm saying click here. Now if you click on this one, as you can see, your content is now shown. Click, 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 click. So this is a one way to perform this kind of activity. Let's suppose if you have an anchor. So how can you use the anchor? I'm saying this is the class. We just going to use this class. I'm saying data BS toggle. It's also a class, and also href for this one. Role equals to button, also same properties. So go to your page, refresh the page. I'm saying click here. Just click, working fine, working fine, working fine, working fine. So in this way you can create your collapse by using your button, by using your anchor. So go to the components, and as you can see, this is the card. So if you want to read the whole documents, you can also read the whole documents, like a card, blah 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 blah. Here as you can see, card is a built-in with little markup and style sheet, and here as you can see, a card is a flexible and essential content container. So all are the same things. Okay, before using or before creating each and everything from scratch, like this div, this image, this. So for this one, I just need to copy the content, and I'm going to use this content here. So in this time, I'm saying this is the comment, and now fine, copy, and now I'm saying in this section I'm saying fine. Now go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, this is the card. So why it's not working? Because you don't have the image here. So I'm saying I'm going to create the images in the assets folder. So I'm saying new directory, images. Here I have to keep one image. So I'm saying Bootstrap 5. Go to the images, and I'm going to copy this one. Right click, save. Where we have to save this one? I'm saying, where is this one? It's available in the Bootstrap 5. Okay, now htdocs, and I'm saying Bootstrap 5. Here is the assets, here is the images. I'm saying 1. So it's 1.jpg. So now I'm saying go to the assets. Inside the assets we have our images. Inside the images we have a 1.jpg. So go to the page, refresh the page. It's now working fine. But what happens? Why you are using the style? If you remove this one, this customized width, as you can see, it's expanding your stuff. Like if I'm saying this is only a 4th column, so now as you can see, it's auto adjustable. That's why we are saying we always create a responsive website by using the Bootstrap 5. So if I'm saying it's a column 3, as you can see, it's automatically managing. So here, as you can see, this is the card, this is the container for your stuff, and this is the image. Here, as you can see, this is the image. It's working fine. And the body, as you can see, this is the body, header, paragraph, and also the button. You have to place your header, paragraph, button, and also some kind of links inside your body. Okay, now as you can see, what happens if you want to customize this one, this one, this one? You just need the extra class. Like here, like if I am going to change this one, so what you need, just need to, I'm saying crd cls, or just copy and paste this class here. And now I'm saying color equals to orange. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying orange. You can also use this one, or you can use this collapse. And now I'm saying in the collapse I have a title. So both are the same things. I'm saying in the collapse I also have a button, like button, and here I'm saying the background red. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's not working fine. You have to use the not important. So control F5 once again. Okay, it's not a button because it's a anchor, so that's why it's not working. If I say the it's a button, then definitely it's works. Now you don't need to add the not important sign. Definitely it's also working. So back to the anchor. It's anchor, then definitely you have to use the anchor sign here. So you can perform the same task with multiple ways. Fine. I'm going to comment this one, refresh. As you can see, this is the cards. So you have to place all your content inside your this body. Let's suppose your button. So this is the button, XYZ. Now I'm saying it's button primary, XYZ. It's fine. You can also press anything here like collapse. You can also use some other kind of stuff here. Okay, now as you can see, they are saying that body, you have to keep the building blocks of the card is the body. As you can see, in the body they are using some content, and also they are saying title, text, and links. So these are the links. You can also use this class for the particular links. So as you can see here, you are not using the class, this one, card links. So now here I'm saying this is not a button, I'm saying card link. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now working fine. So for the image, as you can see, the image is here, card image top. As you can see, the card image is by default on the top. As you can see, this is the text, and you can also read the whole documentations like this. You can also use the UL here, as I told you that you can also use any kind of stuff like UL, like progress bar or anything in the card sections. So why they are using the style? Because they are not using the grid systems. So that's why. You can also use the UL and some kind of stuff like this. It's totally up to you. So basically this is the card systems, and normally use the card systems while creating the profile systems or something like that. It's totally depend upon you where you are using the card. So I think this is the wait for a few seconds. I'm going to open some example. Okay, here as you can see, these are the cards. So right click, inspect element. This is a ready-made. So basically this is the card, but they are using here I think the old carousel. So for now, fine. So you can use the card, this card, to create this kind of stuff. Okay, so it's totally depend upon you. This is a ready-made, or I have downloaded, I have purchased this template from the theme forest, and definitely we are using the Bootstrap, and the version is the 4.2.1. okay, since we are working on Bootstrap 5, so that's why we are not considering this one. We will discuss about the ready-made themes or the themes available on the theme forest. We will download or we will purchase the themes, and we will customize that particular themes according to your needs in our later lectures. But for now, this is the cards. You can manipulate or you can show anything inside your card. Now as you can see, we have created the card sections. What happens if we use here text center, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, you are aligning your text in center. I'm saying text primary. Fine, it's a primary. What happens if you use some backgrounds or borders? So how can you do that? Here I'm saying that text is white and also BG, which is a background, primary. So text is white, background primary. If I'm saying that background is info, it's fine. If I'm saying background is danger, it will give you the red shadows. If I'm saying warning, it will give you the warning, or secondary, it will give you the secondary, just using one class. So this one class. And now what happens if you need the borders? Now I'm saying that border primary. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, border primary. You can also use warning, danger, info, or something like that to create the, like I'm saying success, it will give you the green color. So it's totally depend upon you. What happens if you are using your card in your grid system? Like if you need to create the cards like this, just copy. Fine. As you can see, you can also create another one. Fine. If you are saying, it's fine. So by using the grid, you can also create the card like this. Okay, what happens if you group your cards like this? I'm saying this is 6 column, and now I'm grouping the whole card in a div. I'm saying cards, and here once again these are 2 cards. First of all, these are 2 cards. As you can see, it's fine. Now I just need to add the card group. As you can see, you are grouping 2 cards. As you can see, if you need to create another card, you can just copy the content and paste the content like this. Fine. You can also create another one. Shift, and for the specific div, Control D. You can create, you can copy and paste. Okay, so this is the way to group your cards. Okay, now I'm just deleting the other stuff. I'm just going to copy. I'm just going to copy, comment, and now here I'm going to just copy and deleting the entire section. It's fine. Now I'm saying the card figure system is 4. Okay, now if I add here a class, here I'm saying card image, card img image, and here I'm saying I'm removing card image overlay. As you can see, you are setting your image in the background, or just reverse, you are using at the top. We also have, I think, few other classes bottom. It's not working here, so this class only works with the top section. Okay, if you want to use the bottom, just copy and paste, and here you have to define the bottom because you are using this class in the bottom. So as you can see, it's now showing you in the bottom. So this is the extra classes or extra functionality. If you want to learn the more about the cards or something like that, or if you want to read the whole documentation, just go to the website Twitter Bootstrap and click on the cards. Definitely you cannot show millions or thousands of record in a single page because of this scroll. So that's why you need to break your records into multiple parts, and then definitely you have to show some paginations for your particular page. Let's take an example. So this is the website. As you can see, they have thousands of records here, and now as you can see, this is the same page and you have the paginations like this. If you click on the second button, the link is the same, and the data is fetching from the database some others. So these are the pages basically. That's it. Okay, so now we are going to create the paginations. First of all, I'm saying nav, and the class is page navigation, and I'm saying it's an example. Now I'm saying I have a UL, and here I'm saying I have LI, and I have anchor which has href, and now I'm saying this is the I'm saying next, create some, I'm saying this is previous, and this is next, and this is 1, and this is second. Now here you have to define some classes, some built-in classes. I'm saying paginations, and here I'm saying page item, and the link, we are saying that these are the links. So we have to define a class name page link. Okay, so you have to define page link for each page. Let's suppose this class, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Okay, and for this one you have to define on each LIs. So go to your page, open your file. So now as you can see, you have just created the paginations. Like if you have thousands of pages, you have to define the pages with LIs. It's totally dependent upon you. Okay, now how can you add some icons? If you have some third-party icon, definitely you have to add icon here, like this icon here. It's up to you. Either you are using the Font Awesome or Bootstrap icon, As you can see, these are the icons available in the Bootstrap. You can just use the icon. They are providing the SVGs or something like that. Okay, so in this way you can use the icons. What happens if you want to use the active or disable classes or the properties? Let's suppose by default this is active. So how can you do that? I'm saying this is active. So now I'm saying active. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, now it's active. And how can you use the disable? Let's suppose I'm saying disabled. So now it's disabled. So sorry, it's not, it's a class. Okay, now as you can see, it's disable. Either you use the disable equals to disable or the disable class. Disable is equals to disable is not working, but disable is working. So fine. So in this way you can use the active class or the disable class. It's up to you, or it's up to your system which you are designing or creating. So in this way you can create the paginations. You can create as many as pagination as you want. And now I'm going to copy this one and paste this one here, and I'm going to comment this so you can easily get the code. Okay, now as you can see, this is the row and this is the paginations. I'm going to remove the paginations code, and now here I'm saying I'm going to create a button because we are creating or designing the clothing button. Its type is button first of all, and the class is button close. I'm saying Arial label close. That's it. Go to your page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, you have just created the close button. Okay, fine. Now what happens if you want to add the disable property? You can add the disable. Go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, your button is now disabled. You can use the disable property. So this is the disable property, not a class. Whenever I say disable, whenever I say property, that means I am talking about the property for a particular element, not a class. You can also use some extra classes, like this is a class for button close. I'm saying I'm talking about another class, button close white. So go to the page, refresh the page, and remove this one. As you can see, it's now showing you the white. Let's suppose if I'm saying background black. So it's a background black. So now as you can see, it's showing you the color white. So in this way you can create the button, the close button for your website, where you use the close button. Let's suppose if you have the machine there. We mostly use this button in Moodle. Let's suppose if I'm saying, okay, if I'm saying here as you can see, this is the button for the close. So that's why we have used in the Moodle. We always use this button in Moodle. So if you are not familiar with the Moodle, just go to the documentation, docs, components. So this is Moodle. So now if you click on, as you can see, this is the close button. Right click, inspect element, or here is the code. As you can see, this is the close button. Here is the close button. We mostly use this button in Moodle. And go to the FAQs. Okay, pages here, FAQs. So now as you can see, these are the accordions. We mostly use the accordions while creating the FAQs for our website or the applications. So it's similar to the collapse, but it's not the collapse. So go to the documentations, and in the component sections you have the accordions. So now as you can see, build vertically collapsing accordions in combination with the collapse JavaScript, blah blah blah. Okay, so now here I have two choices. I have to write the whole code. First of all, it's a long code. It takes time to write the whole course with the whole classes and also the properties. So before doing this, I just need to copy this one and paste this one here, and then I'm going to explain what's going on while creating the accordions. Okay, now I'm going to copy and I'm going to comment this one. Similarly, this is div. Okay, now I'm going to remove this one and also the background. Inline CSS is not recommend. Okay, now I just click on the copy and paste the button here. Now, how can you describe, or how can I describe what's going on? So before doing this, I am going to explain each and everything from here. So now as you can see, you have 3 sections available here. When you click on the first sections, as you can see, it's showing you some content. When you click on the second, it's showing you another content. When you click on the third, it will show you, or it's showing you the third content. So you have to create these 3 items separately and also these 3 items separately. So in our code, now as you can see, these are the 3 items. These are the 3 divs inside a main div. So this is the main div, and the name of the main div is, class of the main div is accordions, and the ID is accordion example. Make sure you have to check this ID. Here, as you can see, this is our first item because we have 3 items. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now as you can see, we have one item inside our one item, the H2 and also the collapse bar here. Now as you can see, the class is accordion items because these are the 3 items. Just follow. And second, you have the H2, which is the heading. You have to use the accordion header to create this one, this heading. Okay, the ID is make sure heading 1. Make sure ID is heading 1. So here, as you can see, ID is heading 1, ID is heading 2, and also ID is heading 3. Okay, now if you talk about the button, so as you can see here in the heading sections, here you have a button and the name of the accordion button, type is button. So now this is the data BS toggle because we are using the toggle functionality here. As you can see, this is the toggle functionality. And now after the toggle, you have the data BS target. Which target? So this is the collapse 1, aerial expanded true, aerial controls, collapse 1. Okay. Now as you can see, this is the same ID. This is the same ID. And also, whenever someone click on this one, it will automatically point to this ID. Since we are calling the ID by using the hash. So now as you can see, this is the hash. So that's why it will automatically open this one. So you have to write this ID which you are defining here, this ID here. Okay, so class is the same, and now it's saying show. And we also have some other properties like this, aerial, label, and also the parent. Make sure the parent is accordion examples. So this is the parent. So when you open the second one and when you open the third one, all code is the same, but the ID is different. So as you can see, this is the second ID. Now the second ID is pointing this, as you can see, it's heading 2. This is heading 2, and this is the main, which is this one. Fine. Now what happens if you want to create a third item? Let's suppose I'm going to create the third item. It's very simple. Just copy the last one and change the ID. Let's suppose I'm saying 4th. It's totally depend upon you. 4th. Sorry. This is the heading 4th. And now you have to use the 4th here. 4th. And this is also the 4th. Okay. Now I'm saying this is 4th. And now we have to define the parent ID here and the 4th here. Fine, go to the page, refresh the page. Sorry, go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, you have 1, 2, 3 and also the 4th one. I have to change the 4th one here. So this is the example. And now why it's showing the first one open? Let's suppose if you want to open the last one, then what happens? You have to use the, as you can see, you are using the show this one. If you remove this one and refresh your page, so now as you can see, the first item is not showing you. If you want to show the last one, so you have to use the this here show. As you can see, the last one is by default showing you or collapsing. It's up to you. Okay, now as you can see, it's showing you the by default colors. So if you want to use the class accordion flush, it will give you the by default color. So here accordion flush, this class, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's giving you the, it's removing the items. So as you can, where is the flush? So here as you can see, add flush. So this class to remove the default background color, some borders and some rounded corner to the render accordions edge to edge with blah 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 blah. So guys, you can create your accordions by using this code, this simply code. We never ever write the code from the scratch. We always go to the website like Bootstrap. We just copy the content, like we need the accordions. We know very well that accordions are available in the component sections. We just click on the accordions and go to the accordions and just copy the code and paste the code in our project or in our file, and we always customize that particular code according to our choice or according to our need. Hi guys, I am Shahzad and welcome to lecture number 18. Today's we are going to discuss about the list group. So in the last lecture we have discussed about the accordions, and now it's time to discuss about the new things. I'm going to copy the whole code so you can easily get the code, this one, and now I'm creating a new row. Wait for a few seconds please. I'm going to comment this bad boy. Now here I'm saying I have a div, and now I'm saying I have a div with class row, and also I have a div class call shell. Now I'm saying I have a UL, which is the unordered list, and now I am defining a class. We are working on the list group, so that's why list group. And now I have to define the LIs for this particular list. Let's suppose I'm saying my item. Fine. I'm going to copy, sorry, I'm going to use some classes here, like I'm saying list group item. This is a class for the item. I'm saying I have many list groups. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's working fine. I'm going to add the margin top, refresh the page. As you can see, now it's showing you the list group. So why it's showing you the 100%? Because we are using the 12 column. Let's suppose, fine, it's showing us this one. Let's suppose if I'm using the fourth one, we'll discuss about the data grid in our later lectures, but for now this is simple a div. That's it. Okay, so you have this one. We have some other classes, like how can you active a particular item. Let's suppose I'm saying I want to active this one, so I have to use the active class. So fine, it's now active. So this item is now active. You can also use the disable property or the disable class. Okay, now I'm using the disable class. So now as you can see, this item is now disabled. So disabled, it's enable. You can also use some other kind of classes. Like if you want to use the links, so how can you use a particular link? Okay, let's suppose if you want to use some links in your list group, so how can you do that? So I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Now I'm going from the scratch. I'm saying this is the div and close. And now here I'm saying list group. So this is the list group, and here I have to say that this is the link href link here. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's just showing you a simple link, but you have to define some classes in your link section. Like I'm saying list group item, and also list group item action, and also I'm saying this is the active. Few links, remove this one, go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, you are showing you the links inside your list group. Okay, so in this way, if you click on this one, it's not going to anywhere. Let's suppose copy and paste this here, and now go to the page, refresh the page, click on this one. As you can see, it's redirecting you to the particular link which you have just added here. Okay, now so this is the one you have used active. Let's suppose if I'm saying this is the disable, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now showing you the disabled. It's up to you. So this is the list group for your anchor. Let's suppose if you want to add the button, so how can you do that? I'm going to copy the whole code, commenting this one, and now I'm starting from the scratch. Okay, now I'm saying this is also a list group, and here I have to define the button. The type is the button, and also I need some extra classes like list group items first of all, and then list group item action. So list group item actions, and this is the active class. You always use a single active class to active a particular item at a time. Okay, go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, you have to use the item here.
Here's a result from the web.
Item here, and this is the item here. So refresh. As you can see, now it's working fine. So you have three ways, by using the UL, by using a div for your anchor and for your buttons. You also have the flush. Let's suppose if I'm saying that list group flush, so go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, if you want to remove the corner, as you can see, you are using the border radius here. So if you want to remove this one, just use the list group flush. So now as you can see, you have a flat list group. You can also create the horizontal. Let's suppose I'm saying this is a class and I have to use a single class list group horizontal. Go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's showing you as a horizontally. Because it's a fourth one, I'm saying 6, so it's fine. If I'm saying 12, as you can see, it's now working fine. It's up to you which class you are going to use. Okay, let's suppose I'm going to I'm not going to use the list group here. I'm going to copy this one so you can easily get the code. I am removing this one. Okay, now I'm also removing this active class for now. What happens if you want to add some colors for your elements? Like I'm saying, wait for a few seconds, I'm saying list group colors, list group item, and this is primary. So as you can see, it's showing you the primary. If you use list group item secondary, warning, or something like that, let's suppose warning, it will give you the yellow one. If you are using the same class here for danger, and here for success. For success, it will give you the green and something like that. So you can also use this one. You can also use the badges or some other kind of stuff here, if you go to the list group. Where is the list group? This is the list group. And now here, as you can see, we have discussed all this stuff. So here, as you can see, if you want to use the badges, so how can you use that one? So list group, same item. So here, as you can see, item, and you have to use the badges here. That's it. So custom content, you can also use the custom content like this. Checkboxes, you can also use the checkboxes and the radio buttons in your list group. This is the code. I'm going to comment this code so you can easily get the code. And now I'm opening this one in a tab. As you can see, it's saying click here. If I find refresh, as you can see, I have the container. Now I'm going to create a div for row and for column, because you know very well that we have to place our row inside the container and we have to place our column inside the row, and we always place our content in our columns. So I'm saying call md1, that means 12. And now here I'm saying I'm going to create a div and I'm going to close this one. And now I'm saying I'm going to add some classes. Let's suppose I'm saying bg primary. You know very well that we have a primary, secondary, and also the success, danger, warning, info, light, dark, body, white, and also some other classes available in the Bootstrap 5. Like if you are going to create these classes or these in a button, then definitely you use the primary or the secondary or the success, danger, something like that. Now I'm saying the background color is primary, that means blue, and now I'm saying the text is white, and here I'm saying here is my text. Now go to your file, refresh the file. As you can see, you have just added the background color and the text to white. Let's suppose if you are saying the background color is secondary, as you can see, it's secondary. You know very well that the success is green and the danger is red. Okay, and also warning, you also have an info and some other one. Okay, so you can also use the dark text, dark. So as you can see, dark, that means black. Or you can also use a class which is text primary, that means you are using the primary, that means blue color. You can also use danger or info or something like that. We are using just a text white. Fine. And what about the borders? If you are going to use the borders in your project, okay, you don't need to create some extra things in your CSS files. So as you can see, this is your custom.css file. You don't need to write your extra code here for your border to creating the border. I'm saying I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Now I'm saying this is my span, and here I'm saying class, I'm saying border. That means I'm going to add the border here. Let's suppose I'm saying here is my border. So as you can see, you are using the border. If you want to add the border on the top, so you have to use the top class. Top. Fine. That means you are adding the border at the top of your code. That means if I'm saying br, as you can see, you are using the border. If you want to add the border left, you have to use the left class. Sorry, start, not left. That means left side. So if you use the end, that means right side. And for the bottom, you have to use the bottom. So in this way, you can use your border. So if you want to add the borders colors, so you can use the border colors also. I'm saying border success. That means I'm going to use the border as a green color. So similarly, danger, info, secondary, and also the light, dark, wide, you can also use these kind of borders. Okay, so what happens if you are going to use some other kind of border width? Let's suppose you can also use border 1, border 2, or border 3. Let's suppose border 1. So as you can see, border 1, border 2, or border 3. Okay, so this is about the borders. What happens if you want to use the border radius in your images? Let's suppose I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Now I'm saying image src in the assets. I know I have images. In the images, I have a 1.jpg. So I'm going to close this image, refresh. As you can see, this is the image. What happens if I'm going to use the border for this one? I'm saying border. So as you can see, we are adding the border in your image. Okay, now same thing, border, top, right, or top. So as you can see, you are giving the border at the top, br. Okay, you can also use the border radius for this particular image for any element. Let's suppose I'm saying rounded. So as you can see, I'm using the border here. I'm using the border radius here, border radius here. So you can also use the rounded 1, 2, or 3. For now, it's fine. I'm saying rounded top. So as you can see, we are using the border radius at the top of your element. So if I'm saying start, that means I'm talking about the left. So as you can see, we are using the border radius left side of your element. So end, that means I'm talking about the right. And also for the bottom, we also use the rounded bottom. Fine. You can also use this circle class. So you can see now the system or the Bootstrap 5 automatically using this circle. Okay, you can also use the pill, and also we also have some other options. Not, it's fine. For now, it's fine from scratch. Okay, as you can see, this is our text we have just created. Okay, now I'm saying I have a class because Bootstrap 5 providing the built-in classes. I'm saying text, I'm saying primary. Let's go to the browser, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now working fine. You know very well that primary, that means you have a blue color. Danger, that means you have a red color. Success, that means you have a green color. If you add danger, go to the page, refresh the page, fine. Okay, let's suppose if I'm saying I have several, it's a primary, and I'm saying it's a danger, I'm saying it's a success, I'm saying it's warning, I'm saying secondary, and now I'm saying dark. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, all the classes are working fine. You have a primary class, danger, success, warning, secondary, and this is a dark. You can also view the documentation. So we also have the body, mutate, white, black, and these are the classes available to use. Okay, now let's talk about the positioning. So how can you work if you want to need the positioning, like position relative, position absolute, or position fixed. Bootstrap 5 provide you these kind of classes out of the box. Now I'm saying if I use the positioning absolute, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, we have a text first. Okay, now as you can see, it's fine. Let's suppose I'm going to use the position absolute for the second element. So now refresh the page. So this is the second, and now I'm saying from top 0. Refresh the page. As you can see, it's now going to the top. So this is the second one, and we are using the danger here. And now if I say right, sorry, it's not right, I'm saying and 0. So as you can see, and 0. If I say bottom 0, so as you can see, we are using the top and bottom at the same time, but you have to use 1. So as you can see, this is the second element. Okay, similarly, if you use the start, that means you are talking about the left, and if you use the end, that means you are talking about the right. So and 0, fine. You can also use the relative class, relative. Okay, fine. Okay, why it's going to the, okay, since we are using the container here, the text is overlapping. So why it's happening? Because you are using the absolute positioning without the relative. Let's suppose if I'm saying position relative. Okay, so refresh the page. So now you can see it's not overlapping. It's now working fine because here is the container. Container starts here, container ends here. Okay, so in this way you can use the positioning. Let's suppose if you are saying the position fixed, that means you are using the fixed. Let's suppose for this one you are saying positioning fixed. Okay, now I'm saying, so ignore this one. Here, as you can see, this is the first one and the position is now fixed. If I'm saying that I'm not using the position fixed, as you can see, it's fine. So you can use the position relative, position absolute, and also position static, fixed, and sticky. If you want to learn more about the positioning deeply, you can go to the documentation and go to the utilities and find the positions. So now as you can see, you have a static, relative, and absolute, and they are giving the useful examples here. As you can see, this is they are using the position relative here, and in this div they have several divs. So as you can see, position absolute, 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 absolute. So top 0, so this is the top 0, start 0, so start 0, and this is top 0, start, and 0. That means they are talking about this one, because if they say the start, that means left side. If they say the end, that means right side. And for the top and bottom are the same. So as you can see, top 50, start 50, and bottom 50 and 50. Fine. And bottom, and this is the end 0. This is, they are talking about this one. You can also, as you can see, this is the example, and they are saying that this is the button, and they are using the position relative here. And in this button, if you want to show the notifications, as you can see, this is the span, and they are using the huge classes here. So as you can see, they are saying position absolute, top 0, start 100, and a lot of classes available here. So I'm not going to define each and every class here, but you can use the position absolute, position relative, and fixed, sticky, and also the static by using the Bootstrap 5. Okay, now if I'm saying I have a div, so this is the div and div close. I'm saying I have a class. Okay, now I'm saying border. So I'm using BR for here. Okay, not BR, I'm saying margin. M top 5. Okay, so this is the margin. We'll discuss about this one, but for now, so this is the element. As you can see, by default it's 100%. So if I'm saying I need this element 50%, so I'm saying width 50%. So as you can see, it's now showing us the 50%. You can also do the 25%. So it's a 25% and also 75%. Okay. By default, if you add any element or if you keep any element in your column and your column is 12, then definitely it will show you in 100%. So that's why. Okay, now let's suppose this is the content and I'm saying 75%. It's fine. Let's suppose I'm saying 50%. It's also fine. Sorry. Okay, you can also do the same things with height. So as you can see, this is the width. If I'm saying height, so height, if I say 75%, so this is 75% height. So you can do that with W. That means W dash 75. That means I'm talking about the width is 75, and if I add the H, that means I'm talking about the height is 75. You can also have a look by using the inspect element. So select your element. As you can see, we are using the W75. As you can see, it's saying width 75%, not important. And since we have used the empty dash 5, that means we are saying margin top and 3REM, not important. Okay, so this is about the width and also the height. You can also set the minimum width and minimum height, like I'm saying minimum width and height 100%. That means I'm talking about, okay, as you can see, it's 100%. If I use VW, that means I'm talking about the minimum width, so it's 100%. So that's why, since we are using 75% and 100%, that's why you can use the minimum VW, that means I'm talking about the width. If I use the height, that means I'm talking about the height. So it's about the width and height. Let's suppose if you are working in any applications and you need some spacing, like by using margin and top. I'm not going to teach you here the margin and also the padding. Okay, we'll discuss about this one here. Now I'm saying, let's suppose I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Okay, I'm saying I have a paragraph and I'm saying here is my text, and I also have another paragraph. So go to the page, refresh the page. I have two paragraphs. Okay, now if I'm saying I have a class, that means empty margin top 5, that means I'm going to add the margin top. If I use the margin bottom 5, so as you can see I'm using the margin bottom here. Okay, if I say PT, that means padding, right click. How can you determine that? As you can see, since we are using padding, so that's why it's showing you the green. Since we are using the padding top, so that's why it's showing you the green at the top of. If you use the margin, then definitely it will show you the orange type color. So as you can see, it's showing you the orange type color. If you click on this one, so as you can see, it's saying margin top 3REM. If you use the PT, that means padding, then definitely, as you can see, it's showing you the padding top. You can also do the bottom and also start, that means I'm talking about the left, and also you can use the end, that means I'm talking about the end. But make sure, if you use the P, that means we are talking about the padding. If we use the PE-5, that means I'm saying add the padding end of the element 5. Okay, so refresh. So as you can see, padding 3 REM. Fine, since the all we don't have anything right side, so that's why it's not showing here. If I use the start, that means I'm saying add the padding, okay, at the beginning of element. So as you can see, it's adding the padding. Okay, so since we have discussed about the M, that means margin, P, that means padding, if we use the T, that means I'm talking about the top, B for bottom, S for start, E for end. Okay, so since we have these kind of things, if you use the auto, let's suppose if I'm saying MX auto, so refresh the page, and now I'm saying style width 100 pixel. So as you can see, it's now showing you at the center. So you can also do that. It's totally up to you. Since go to the Bootstrap, and if you want to view the documentation, so utilities, you have discussed about the sizing. As you can see, horizontally you can use the MX auto. If you want to use the negative margin, you can also do that. If you want to use the gap, as you can see, they are providing you the D-grid gap. We'll discuss about the grid systems in our later lectures, but for now it's fine. Okay, let's talk about the text. Let's suppose you have text. I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Let's suppose if you have a paragraph, here is my text and text. Now I'm saying, you know very well that by default you have, so you have three elements. By default your position is left side, so you don't need to specify that text start, that means you're talking about the left. If you say, okay, let's suppose I'm adding three classes here, here and here. I'm saying text and now I'm saying text center. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, I'm saying if we use the text end, that means we are saying text align right. If you use the text center, that means we are saying text align center. If you click on this one, so now as you can see, it's showing you text align center. If you click this one, as you can see, we have a text end, that means we are talking about the text align right. If you want to use the text wrap, or if you want to break the word or something like that, you also have the separate classes. Let's suppose go to the Bootstrap document, because it's hard to paste or it's hard to write each and everything here. So I'm saying this is the text. We have discussed about left, right. You can also use the SM with your text start, and you can also use the text wrapping. If you want to break the word, you can also use the text break. It will break your word. Let's suppose copy this one and paste this one here, and now go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now breaking your element. If you click on this one, as you can see, it's saying word wrap, word break. So if you uncheck these two, one, as you can see, it's now giving you a long alphabets or string. Okay, so it's totally up to you how can you manage this one. You can also use the text transform, like if you need the uppercase, lowercase, and also the capitalize. You can use the lower, upper, and also the capitalize. These are the three classes. You can also use the font if you want to manage the sizing of your fonts. You can also use the FS1, that means 1 from 1 to 6. So it's similar to the H1, H2, H3. Okay, fine. If you want to use the font weight and italic, you can also use the FW bold, FW bolder, normal, light. So these are the classes available here. So for the line height, you can also use the LH1. Okay, they also have a lot of things here like text decorations, like reset colors. You can also go to the documentations and play with it. So as you can see, introductions, you can also read the documentations, entire documentations. Okay, if you click on the layouts, as you can see, they have the breakpoint. So you can also read the breakpoint, XM or small. So as you can see, if I use the MD, that means I'm talking about the medium devices. If I'm using the SM class anywhere, that means I'm talking about the small devices. If I use the LG, that means I'm talking about the large devices. If I'm using extra large, that means I'm using the extra large devices. And here, as you can see, the dimensions, extra small, that means less than 576 pixels devices. Let's suppose you have old Android phones. You are talking about the old Android phones. If you use the small, that means you have iPhone 5, 6, 7 devices. If you use the medium, that means you are talking about greater than and equals to 768, like your pads or like your I think iPhone Max or Max Pro, something like that. If you have a large devices, and here as you can see, if I use the medium, that means we are talking about also the small laptops. If you use the large, that means I have 28-inch screen. I'm talking about those screen which has a resolutions 992 pixel greater than. Okay, so something like that. So this is the breakpoint. You can also read the documentations here. We are not teaching you here the media queries, like what are the media queries, how can you use the media queries. As you can see, this is a media queries sections. You can use the minimum width and why we have to use, or we are using, or we use the media breakpoint up. So just ignore these one. Okay, now just click on the containers. As you can see, you can also read the entire documentations from here to here. Okay, now in simple words, we use the container. We have two types of containers. Container which set maximum width at each responsive breakpoint. Container fluid which is width 100%. Okay, I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. I'm now starting from here. I'm saying I have the container, first of all, container, and now I'm saying I'm using the border for this one, and I'm saying padding top or padding, let's suppose for now it's fine. Go to the page, refresh the page, and now I'm saying margin top 5, it's fine, and I'm adding some element here. Let's suppose for now it's fine. Here is my element. As you can see, your container starts from here and ends here. Okay, now right click, inspect element, inspect element, click on the container. As you can see, it's saying maximum width 540 in this device. So if you use the container fluid, that means you are saying please use the 100%. Refresh the page. Now as you can see, my device is I think 32 inches, so that's why it's showing you from here to here. If you resize your device, as you can see, it's automatically adjusting. You are saying whatever device you have or any users, just use the 100%. If right click, inspect element, so as you can see, it's saying width 100%. If you downgraded this one, so now as you can see, it's fine. Okay, so these are the two containers we use mostly in our projects. You can also read the documentations here, like container. If you use the container for small, medium, large devices, as you can see, this class use the 540. This container works with this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, fine. You can also use the default container here, responsive containers. For container SM, you can also read the entire documentations. Okay, but we use mostly two types of containers. If you need the 100% for your elements, you have to use the container fluid. If you use the container, simple container, you have to use this one. Okay, now we have discussed about the components and some utilities in our previous lectures, and also we have discussed about the containers. So basically we have two types of containers. We mostly use these two type of containers. If you click on the layout, you have the containers. If you click on the layout, you have a good systems. So you can also read the entire documentations here. It's up to you. But we are going to explain each and everything out of the box. As you can see, they are saying grid system, use our powerful mobile first flexbox grid to build layout, blah 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 blah. Okay, so we are going to explain that how can you do that. Since we have created a video
for nice hash and also for mining. So that's why it was working. It was running. Okay, now as you can see, we have container and we have some elements. Okay, so you have to keep your container inside your row. You have to keep your row inside, you have to keep your row inside your container, and you have to keep your columns inside your row, and you have to keep your any element, either it's h1, p1 or image or any type of element, HTML element, inside your columns. So for the better understanding, let's have an example, or let's take an example. I'm saying I have a container, and I'm saying I'm going to define a row in a container. Okay, fine. I'm saying this is the row. That means it's a class named row. Now I'm saying that I'm just using call for, and now I'm saying h3, and I'm saying welcome. Fine. I'm going to define 3 columns in a single row. So now go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's working fine. Let's create the border, and here is a border, and here is a border. So okay, now I'm saying I'm going to margin top 5, fine. So as you can see, you have 3 columns now in a single row. But if you create a 4th column in a single row, what happens? Refresh the page. As you can see, it's pulling your 4th column to here. Okay, that means you have to define the 12 columns in a single row. So this is a rule. So as you can see, this is your 4th column. This is your 4th column. This is your 4th column. So 4 plus 4, 8, and 4, 12. So this is the 12 combinations of a 4 column, and we are using these 12 columns in a single row. Let's suppose if you need the 2 columns in a single row, you have to define the 6, 6. Okay, now go to the page, refresh the page. If you use the 8 for this one, definitely it will pull your element or the column. So every row must have the 12 columns. Now if you want to define another row, you have to copy, or you have to create another row in a container. And now I'm saying this is my 2nd row, and here I have to define the columns, whatever columns you need. Let's suppose now you need a 12 column. I'm saying call 12, and now I'm saying h3 or h2. I'm saying this is single column. Refresh the page. I have to place the board here for the better understanding. I'm saying I'm using the margin empty 5, margin top 5. So now as you can see, you have a 2nd row. In a 2nd row, you have created a column, 12 column. Let's suppose if you are creating 8th column, then what happens? So now as you can see, it's showing you the 8th column, but you still have a space for another column. Let's suppose if you are defining a column for 4, so 8 plus 4 equals to 12. So now as you can see, it's still working fine. Let's suppose if you need the column, 12 column, and the combination is 2, so 2 plus 2 is 8. So you need several columns for 2 combinations. Let's suppose I'm saying this is 2 and this is 2. So 4 plus 8 and plus. Okay, now as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so since you are using the 12 columns, 2 columns combinations, so 2 multiplied by 6, 12. Okay, so in this way you can create your columns. Okay, according to the documentations, they have small, medium, large, extra large, and extra large. Why they are saying this one? Since we are using the column here, that means we are saying that execute these column on every device, like on
laptop, on small devices like iPhone 6, 7, or any type of screen, just execute these two columns. Okay, if we use separate code for separate device, let's suppose I'm saying this is the row, and now I'm saying call MD, I'm saying 4, and here I'm saying H2, welcome to another column. Okay, now I'm saying I have now 4 columns, so I'm saying just execute. So as you can see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to use the border for better understanding. So border, copy this one and paste this one here, sorry, and also use the border here. We have discussed about the borders in the previous lectures. So now you have the borders. I'm saying, sorry, margin top, top 5. Fine. So you have 4 columns, 4 plus 4, 4 plus 4. So these are the 12 columns in a single row. But in this case, I am saying use these 4 columns only in medium devices. So this code won't work in large or any device. Let's suppose if you have an extra small device. So as you can see, it's now showing you this one. But if I add that for extra small or SM device, sorry, call SM, for SM device, just use this as a 6 column. So 6 column, 6 column, and now 6 column. So go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, this is the small device, and now as you can see, it's pulling your third one from right to the bottom. Why? Because in a single row you are saying that 6 plus 6 equals to 12. So now in a small device you have a 12 columns, it's completed, and in the same row you also have a small 6 columns. So that's why it's pulling you from right to the bottom. Okay, let's suppose if you are saying that if you run the same script in an extra small device, let's suppose I'm saying access. Let's suppose if I'm saying if I run this in the large call LG, I'm saying 12. If this code works on large device, or if you want to execute this script in a large device, then what happens? As you can see, this is the small, it's working fine. If you expand this one, so now as you can see, this is the medium device, and if you just now, as you can see, now it's showing you the 12 column for the large device. Since it's a 32 inches screen, so that's why it's showing you the 12 column. But if you just use this one, let's suppose, fine, I have a tool. Let's suppose if you run the same code in a iPad, so now as you can see, it's showing you the 12 column. If you run the same code in iPhone 6, as you can see, 12. If you run the iPhone, I don't know why it's not working, Chrome code not, it's saying something like that. But definitely if you execute this one in a small devices, it always works. So in this way you can manage your classes, or you can manage your columns. So go to the grid system. As you can see, we have discussed about the small, medium, large classes. So now as you can see, auto layout columns, so equal columns, so they are using for equals column call for the equal columns. Since we are using the call to, why? Because we are saying divide the 2 columns for every device. For equal column, so now as you can see, if you use the 2, it's automatically executing, or the Bootstrap 5 knows that if you are using the 2 columns in a single row, as you can see, it's showing you here like this. And now if you define the 3 columns, it's automatically using the 3 columns combinations. So just copy this bad boy, or just I'm going to take an example for better understanding. I'm saying row. If I use the column here, I'm saying call. Now I'm saying h1 welcome, just define 2 columns. Now go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's dividing your screen into 2. Let's suppose 6 to 50, 50%, 50%. Okay, now if you just use 3rd column, so now as you can see, it's defining the 3rd column here. Okay, for better understanding, you have to use the margin top 5, and also the border, and the border, and also the border. Okay, now as you can see 3. If you define 4th one, as you can see, it's dividing your row in 4th column. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just define. So Bootstrap is smart. It's automatically detecting that if you have a single column, it will divide, or it will add only a 12th column. So it's up to you how can you manage this one. You can also use the this concept called 12. You can also use this concept, and you can also use this concept. It's up to you how can you use that. So now setting 1 column. So as you can see, this is call. That's why it's showing you in a 1 column. So call 6 and call. So this is a 6 column, and this is 3, and this is 3. So that's why it's showing you. If you use the mix up, like if you're defining the call 6 in a single row, so single row, as you can see. Okay, let's zoom it. Single row, 3 columns available in a single row. You are using the call, and call 6. Now Bootstrap automatically detecting that since you are using the 6th column for your middle column, so that's why this is a 6th column, and this is a 3 columns. If you use call 5, it's automatically dividing your columns equally. Okay, so now you can use justifies, responsive, breakpoints. Okay, we'll discuss about these ones in our later lectures. So we have discussed that call 6 and call MD, so they are using the same concept. And also you can use the row calls. Why? Let's suppose if you are saying you always use 2 columns for every row. So as you can see, if you define row calls 2, as you can see, one column. Since you are defining the 4 column here, it's automatically saying, or it's automatically executing your script. So 2 columns. Just copy this bad boy and paste this one here. Sorry. Here, refresh the page. As you can see, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, let's suppose if you are saying 3, then definitely 1, 2, 3. If you are saying 4, it's automatically manage your 4. Okay, so this is a container at saying call row calls 3, fine, and fine. A lot of examples already available here. So if you are using the nesting, so how can you do that? And also these are the SAS layers. Hi guys, I am Shahzad, and welcome in lecture number 25. Today we are going to discuss about the nesting of the columns. How can you nest your columns? Nesting element inside your element. Let's suppose if you have a div and you are defining a div inside your div, then definitely it's a nesting. Okay, let's suppose, as you can see here, you are defining the row inside your container. That means it's an element div, it's an element div. You are defining a div inside your div, it's a nesting. Okay, now I'm going to copy this one so you can better understand, and I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Okay, now I'm saying this one, and now here I'm saying it's a 12th column. Why? Because we are defining this call, that means Bootstrap automatically detect that this is a 12 columns. For better understanding, I'm saying border, and here I'm saying margin top 5. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's fine. It's a 12 column. Basically, it's a 12 column. Now, if you define in your 12 column, I'm now defining a row inside a 12 column. I'm saying row, and here I'm saying div, and here I'm saying class call, and I'm saying inner column. It's also a 12 column. And now I'm saying border, border. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, this is the inner column. If you define the column like this, call MD, let's suppose 6. As you can see, now it's fine. If you define the 3 columns, so now as you can see, you have a 3 columns inside your 12 columns. So if you right click, inspect element, so go to the element. As you can see, this is a call, and as you can see, this is fine, and you are defining the row inside your column. You can also define your row here. Let's suppose in this column, I'm saying I'm defining another row. I'm saying this is row, and this is column. I'm saying column, let's suppose it's a 12 column, MD12. Write something here. Okay, fine. As you can see, now in your first column, it's a 4th column, you're defining the 12th column. So you can define any nesting, you can define any row inside your column or something like that. So if you go to the column or go to the grid systems, now here at the bottom of the section, so they are saying the nesting. To nest your content with the default grid, add a new row and set columns, blah blah blah. So they are saying similarly, as you can see, this is a row. You are defining 3 columns. You are defining 9 columns. So 3 plus 9 equals to 12. You are defining the 12 columns in a single row. Fine. And you are defining the row inside your 9th column, and you are saying 8 plus 4. So as you can see, 8 plus 4. You are defining 8 plus 4 equals to 12 in a single row. It's fine. But you are defining the row inside your 9th column. So it's also fine. So basically, this is the nesting. Okay, fine. It's hard to write each and everything here from scratch. So this is the nesting. I'm going to comment this one. So now I'm going to copy the content from the example, and I'm going to paste the content here. Okay, now if you go to the columns, you can also read the entire documentations here. As you can see how it works, columns, and they are saying alignment. You can also set the alignments, but basically you can also use horizontal alignments, and as you can see, these are the few classes available. We mostly use the grid systems like call or call, SM or extra large, and also the medium small. So we always use these ones. So ignore these one. You can also read the entire documentations here. You can also wrap your columns. You can see, as you can see, 9, 4 and 6. Fine. But here you can reordering. You can also reorder your column. Let's suppose you have column. So basically you have 4 plus 4, 4 plus 4, 12. So you have a 12 columns in a single row. So copy this one and paste this one here. Now go to the page, refresh the page. So as you can see, this is the first, second, third. But now you are saying, please order this column from here to here. So as you can see, this is second column, and you are reordering. So let's suppose you are saying 3. As you can see, it's also fine. If you are saying 1, as you can see, it's fine. Okay, so 5 Fine. You can also use another thing like order last, like order first. So I'm saying order first. So as you can see, it's showing you the second column at the beginning of the row. Okay, now if I say order last, you are pulling your column to the last. Okay, so offset. So let's suppose if you have a column, if you have two columns. Okay, I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. You can also get this code from the Bootstrap official website. Now I'm saying I have only two columns, and now I'm saying I'm not going to use the order last. Okay, now these are the two columns. Let's suppose I'm saying border. I'm saying border. So you are saying that you are using the two columns here. In this case, I'm saying we are using the sixth column, and I'm saying I'm going to use col MD4. So 6 plus 4 equals to 12. You still have a two column space here. Now I'm saying offset 2. So now as you can see, you are saying that please just ignore the two columns here, or as you can see, according to the documentations, they are saying you can offset grid columns in two ways, offset and also offset MD. So here as you can see, you are saying offset MD. That means you are saying please ignore the fourth column or left the fourth column. So as you can see, 4 plus 4, 8 plus 4, 12. So you are defining the 8 column here, but you are saying please offset 4. Please ignore the fourth column, this one, or you are saying please keep a space before this column. So that's fine. Okay, you can also use the offset 2, and also you can use the offset MD, offset LG, or something like that. Okay, okay, margin utilities, you can also do the MS auto. These are for the margins. So basically these are the grid systems, or these are the columns you can use in a grid systems or in a row. Okay, now here I'm saying if I have a form, let's suppose I have a form, and make sure we always use the container. So this is the container and this is the row, and now I'm saying this is the column. Since we are using the call, that means Bootstrap automatically detect that it's a 12 columns. Okay, now I'm defining my form here. I'm not defining the, now I'm saying form just ignore this one. I'm saying input type text name, and now I'm saying form control. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's I'm saying MT5. Now as you can see, since you are using the 12 columns, so that's why it's giving you the long input type. Okay, now if I use the form control LG, that means I'm saying just give me a large one. So now as you can see, form control LG. Now if I say that SM form control SM, so as you can see, it's giving me the small, and this is the default one. Look, let's suppose if you are saying this is your call MD, let's suppose 4 column. It will automatically manage your input type equals to text or element according to the column. Okay, let's suppose you have 4, you are using the, now copy this one. Okay, as you can see, you are saying call MD. Okay, fine. If I say I have to place my form outside the row, now go to the page, refresh the page. Now it's fine. That's why it was not working. Okay, fine. Let's suppose you have defined the form here, and in this form you are saying you are starting a row, and now you have a 3 columns. Okay, 4 columns, 4 columns, 4 columns. You can define text area or text or something like that. Let's suppose if you want to disable any element, you just use the disable. So as you can see, now it's disable. You can also use the read only to disable the element. So as you can see, now it's disabled. Okay, now go to the controls. As you can see, for input and for text area, you have to use this concept. Okay, now here as you can see, you have the form label for the labeling your form, but you have a form control, this one, and you also have the LG small or the simple one. You can also disable by using the disable and read only. You can also use the read only plain text. We are not going to touch this one. So you can check the examples here. As you can see, they have a lot of examples available here. So we are not going to describe each and everything from here. But I'm saying this is the row, and here I'm saying okay, fine. I'm saying keep 1. Okay, now I'm saying I have a select and I have options. I'm saying 1 and I'm saying 3, and here I'm saying class. Now I have to define the form select, and here this one is selected. Now go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, this is selected. So fine, you can also use, or you can size your element, like if you use the form select, then I'm saying form select LG, it will give you the large one. If you use the form select small, it will give you the small box, or this is the default one. Fine, you can also use the multiple. If you want to select multiple options from a single one, I'm saying multiple. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now you can choose multiple options. And here you can also use the same concept. If you want to disable something, use the disable or read only options. So in this way you can manage your select, or go to the forms. Where is the forms? This is the forms. And now as you can see, when you click on the select, as you can see, now you have the sizing. You can also view the sizing. You can use the form select with multiple. Where is the multiple? So here is the multiple. You can also show, let's suppose if you have more than 3 or 5 elements, you can set that how many elements you want to visible, or sorry, option. So as you can see, size 3, only 3 options are visible. And you can also use the disable with the same concept. Just use the disable or the read only. Let's suppose I'm saying that disable. So now go to the page, refresh the page. Now it's disable. I think read only also works. So read only equals to read only, or just use the read only. Go to the page, refresh the page. It's not working. You have to use the disable for this one. When you click on the doc or document sections, you know that this is the forms, and in the forms you have a checkbox or the radio. So create, consist, cross browser, or you can read the entire documentations from here to there. Okay, so now if I write the code here, it's also fine. If I just explain the things here, or let's suppose if you copy this one, and if you, I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. If you copy the code and paste the code here, now go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, we are not using the container or the div here, sorry, columns. So I'm saying this is the container, and here I'm saying, and now I'm saying this is the row, and here I'm saying this is the column. It will automatically describe that this is the 12 columns. Refresh the page. So now as you can see, it both are, the checkbox are working fine. So how it works? So now as you can see, we have placed our checkbox inside a div. As you can see, this is the div, and we are saying form check. And now as you can see, this is the label. This is just a label. So if you remove this one, this one, this one, it will definitely work. But why we are saying, because we have used the ID here, so that's why we are saying this label is for this one. So similarly, so classes, form check, input. So this is the class. You just need to use this class and this class. If you remove this one, let's suppose, and if you remove this one, you have to remove this one. Now go to the page, refresh the page. It's not working. Okay, fine. That means you have to use these two words. But make sure that this is the default one. This is the second one. So keep in mind, if you use the XYZ and if you use the ABC, then you have to use the XYZ here and also ABC here. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, both are working fine. So for this one, as you can see, by default, I'm saying this is the, when you refresh the page, as you can see, by default, it's a checked. Why? Because we have used the checked here. If you remove this one, as you can see, it's fine. If you use the checked here, it's also fine. And now for the disable, you can use just the disable to disable your element. Let's suppose I'm saying disable, go to the page, refresh the page. By default, as you can see, it's checked, and also the disabled, same concept. For the radio buttons, as you can see, we are saying form check and also form check input, and type is the radio. This and this is the same things, but we are using the checkbox here and we are using the radio here. The same concept here. If you want to disable your radio, just use the disable here. For the switch one, as you can see, this is a switch. And now if you copy this one and if you paste this one here, I'm going to comment this one because we have copied the content from the official website of the Bootstrap. Now click this one. As you can see, we are saying form check, fine, and we have placed two things here like button, this is, and also the content. So this is the label. And now as you can see, form check input, we have a div form check, form switch, form check input, and type is checkbox. And as you can see, this is the same ID and we are using the same ID here. So just using this one, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's a simple checkbox. So you have to use this form switch class to create the which one? Switches. Okay, now as you can see, you can also use the disable concept. As you can see, this is the disable. We also have, you can also inline your checkbox or the radio buttons by just using a single class. As you can see, this is a form checkbox inline. So now you are using this one and also this one. it will automatically inline your element. Let's suppose I'm saying form inline here, form inline here, here, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see now, it's showing you in a single line. So by using this one, you can inline your element. I'm not going to define what is inline element and what is the block level element, because guys, I have already told you that you have to have the basic knowledge of the HTML and also the CSS. Okay, you can also define without the label, just do not use the label. Okay, as you can see, this is the toggle button. You can click on this one, just create a toggle button. Okay, for disabling, we have a same concept, just use the disable. You can also read some other documentations available here, like outline style. You can use this one checkbox, and also use some extra classes like button, outline primary, outline secondary, outline success, danger, and some other kind of classes. I'm saying that this is the range. Okay, I can also type the code here in my editor, but I'm not going to type the code from scratch. I'm going to define the things here. So as you can see, this is just a label. We are using the class form label, and we are using custom range 1. Why we are using here? Because we are using the ID here. So whenever we use ID for a particular element, we have to use the ID here with for, because this is the label for this one. Okay, for the range, you just need to use the range. Input type equals to range, class form range. You just need to use the form range. Define your ID here and define your ID here for this particular element. This is the same concept for our forms. Just use the disable. If you want to disable the element, you can use the minimum and also the maximum by using the min and max. The rest of the code is the same. You can also use the steps, like if you're saying 0.5 or 1. So this is a step 0.5. Okay, increasing 0.5. Okay, so this is the range. If you click on the input group, so we have discussed about the button groups or input groups in our previous lectures. If you talk about the forms, we have input groups. As you can see, easily extend form, controls by adding text, button, and blah blah blah. You can read the entire documentations available on the Bootstrap. You know very well that we have created thousands of lectures and 65 plus courses. I think we are working for 7 to 8 years. So we mostly use the concepts of we always prefer the practical instead of the reading the entire documentations while creating our lectures. So that's why we are saying that if you want to read the entire documentation, just go to the website and read the entire documentations. Okay, as you can see, this is the basic examples. So fine. As you can see, this is the input group. That means we are grouping two elements in a single input group. And as you can see, we are saying that this one and this one span at with this one. Input type equals to text. If you copy this code and paste this code here, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, we are grouping these two elements. One is the label. This is not a label, it's a span. Just we are using the add with this one. We are grouping this to this one. This is the same thing, form control. Why placeholder? To show the username here inside your text element. This is a basic thing, and just ignore these two things, Arial label and Arial describe body. Okay, now we are grouping at with this one. We are grouping this to this one. As you can see, the input group, and now first element this one and the second element this one. Here we are using the span as the first element, input as the second element. Here input as a first element, span is a second element. As you can see, this is one, and for this one, basic URL, this label outside of the input class for this one. Okay, now input group, you are saying span and text, basic URL ID, and also we are defining basic URL here basic URL. So this is ID and this is for the label, and we are grouping these two things here. So similarly, you can also read the entire documentations, and they are saying wrapping. How can you wrap this one? You can also use the sizing concept, like here as you can see, it's saying input group small. You can also use the input group large and the default one. Checkbox and the radio, you can also define checkbox like this. You can also group the checkbox and also the radio, and you can also group this one, multiple inputs, this. So you are grouping two inputs in a single row or in an inline, these two inputs, 1 2. Okay, you can also use the multiple add-ons. Read this one. We also have a button add-ons. Let's suppose if you need a text box with a button, you can also use this one. Okay, now button with drop downs. So this is drop downs and this is text. Same things. You can also, as you can see, input, and this is the UL and LIs. Fine. Okay, segments. We also have the entire things here, like custom file. You can also group your text with your custom files. As you can see, this is a button and this is the input type equals to file. So in this way, you can manage your input groups, or you can group your elements by using Bootstrap 5. So if you click on the documentations, click on the component, you have a navbar. So as you can see, this is the navbar. Okay, now as you can see how navbar works, you can also read the entire documentation from the official website of the Bootstrap 5. You know very well that this is the Bootstrap 5 series, and we are working on the Bootstrap 5.x version, that means 5.0 version. How it works, as you can see, you can also read this one, or you can just direct download, just copy the entire project. So now as you can see, it's fine. I'm saying I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to paste this one in our project. So now I'm saying this is index for project, and this is our original index HTML file. I'm saying this is the original index file. So index file, I'm going to open this one. As you can see, it's working fine. Now I'm just going to comment the entire code here. And here, as you can see, it's auto adjusted because we are using the call in a div, which is the row. I'm going to paste the entire code from here. Okay, refresh the page. As you can see, this is the navigation bar. You can also use the navigation bar like dark. Where is the dark? The navigation bar. I'm saying dark, and this is the dark. As you can see, it's saying just go to the navigation bar and use the BG dark. So this is the navigation bar, and as you can see, light, just use the dark. Refresh the page. As you can see, now this is dark, or you can just copy the entire code from here and just use the entire code here. Now it's fine. Take this one, and now as you can see, it's working fine. So now I'm saying I'm using the light one. So I'm saying I'm using marge bottom. It's working fine. If you want to add the border, you can also use the border. I think the border is here, it's not here. I'm saying border. So as you can see, it's using the border. If I'm saying that margin bottom, I have to be also here, or I'm going to use the BR to break the hole. You can also use the padding on margin. Okay, now as you can see, these are the links. If you want to, why we are using this one, this navigation bar, this nav bar, because it provides you the responsive navigation bar for each device. It's like as you can see, I have a 28 inches screen, so it's showing like this. Let's suppose if you have the iPhone 6, as you can see now, it's look like this. You have a button, and if you have the, let's suppose, desktop, uh, the the resolutions is iPad 1024 by 768. Now as you can see, it's look like this. If I'm saying I have an iPhone 5, so now as you can see, it's look like this. So this is the responsive navigation bar. It's up to you. Either you are going to read the entire documentations, or you just need to memorize that you have a navigation bar or nav bar sections in the component. Whenever you need any navigation bar, just copy this code and go to the page and use the code there. Okay, so now as you can see, it's a branding. So if you use the brand, so copy, paste, as you can see, this is the brand. You can also use the image here, or you can use your brand name, brand. Okay, now refresh the page. As you can see, this is the brand name. You can also use the text, and as you can see, they are saying you can also use the image here, the brand name. So here is the brand name, and you have to use the image, or you can also use the image. So it's up to you. Here, use the image. I'm saying that the width and height I'm going to define because the image size is too large. That's why. Now refresh the page. As you can see now here, if I'm not going to use the width and height, now as you can see the image, it's showing the image as a full width. So that's why we are using the width and height. So it's now it's fine. Now, as you can see, they also have, they are saying that if you want to active something or disable something, so as you can see, this is a disable, you have to use the active. This is the active. This is the active. So active, and this is disable. I'm saying I'm going to add a first link as active. So now as you can see, the first link is active. If I'm not going to use the active, to go to the page, refresh the page, as you can see, it's not showing us the bold, but now it's showing us text as a bold. You can also use the disable. As you can see, this is the disable. Ignore this one, and as you can see now, it's here. Fine. Fine. Now you can change the. As you can see, if you not going to use this one, just find this one. Search. This is the form. Cut your code or remove your code, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now fine. If you want to change the name, just go to the navigation bar. As you can see, this is the UL and this is the UL. You just need to change the links here from here. Add links here, change the icons here. As you can see, this is just a simple drop down. So this is the drop. This is a simple drop down, which is available in the component sections of our drop down. So now here, as you can see, this is the drop down. Drop down. As you can see, this is the div drop down. And now here, as you can see, you are using the same things with UI. So here, as you know, you are using the drop down with this button. So that's why. So drop down menu, as you can see, this is a drop down menu. And now Arial, and this is a drop down menu, you have a same. And you, since you are using the same ID here, so that's why you are calling the same ID here. So same ID. So now as you can see, this is the same ID. So it's up to you how you are managing your code and how you are using the code. And now as you can see, you can also use the primary, secondary, or any pillars from the, sorry, these are the drop downs. no, we are not discussing the navigation bar. You can also use the primary colors or something like that. Here in the navigation bar, we have discussed about the brand name. You can also use the text and also the image. And also, okay, you can also use the form. We have discussed that we have removed the form from here, like this. We normally do not use the search bar or the form in our menu normally, but mostly themes have the navigation bar in the have the forms in the navigation bar. Okay, so this is the container. If we, as you can see, we are using in a container, so that's why. If I'm saying I'm using the container float, if I need the 100% width, so I have to use the float. That's why, as you can see, it's 100% width. So it's up to you. That's why they are saying you have to use the container. Okay, now where we have to use the VG light, we have discussed about the VG light and also the dark theme. You also have a responsive. You have to use the toggle. Or it's up to you that how you are learning. If you want to read the entire documentations, the documentations is here. Just go to the website and read the documentations. But as an expert person, I'm not going to use the documentations from the here, because here we have a lot of documentations here that if you go to the website, as you can see, this is the example, and they have some examples here. If you click on the here, as you can see, this is the album. So here, this is the scene. How can you create this particular layout? First of all, we are going to define that how you start. This is the navigation bar. Where is the navigation bar? We have discussed about the navigation bar in our previous lecture. But for now, this is the navigation bar. What you need, just need to copy the code and use the code here. So now here, as you can see, this is a row, first of all, and you are using the navigation bar in a particular row, in a particular column. So now here, as you can see, this is the second row, and we are using the text and two buttons here. Here, this is the card. Where is the card? So as you can see, this is the card. So the card is here. You are not using the buttons here, but you are using the button group here. So this is the long buttons. That's why you just need to copy the code and paste the code in your project. So now in the footer section, so now as you can see, you don't have a fancy footer. So this is a simple footer. You are using some text here. So how can you start? I'm saying I'm going to close the entire thing. And now here I'm saying I'm going to use a project file, project 2 file. Now I'm saying that project 2. Fine. So now how can you start? First of all, I'm saying I'm going to use the CDN. So we have used the CDN here. Just copy the code and also paste the code here in the header section. Now, so you can see bootstrap.main, bootstrap.bundle.main.js files. And now we also have, I think we also have the okay, we are not using the JS file. So it's up to you where you are adding. I'm saying get bootstrap, go to, sorry, not documentations, download, copy the CDN from here. Fine. I'm using the CDN now here. Sorry. Copy and also the copy. We have to place the JS file in the footer where the footer ends. Fine. Now the second part of I'm going to open this one so you can guys understand. So now I'm going to close this one and also close this one and also close this. And also close this one. So this is the theme we are going to create, and this is your project. Right click, inspect element, console. As you can see, everything is working fine. That means you have successfully attached the bootstrap. It's working fine. Now you need the navigation bar. So now I am saying once again, get bootstrap, go to the documentations, and in the component factors you have the navigation bar. So now I'm going to copy the navigation bar and I'm going to use the navigation bar here. But in this time, as you can see, the navigation bar under the container, and you have a full width of the uh, background. So here I'm saying this is the class container. I'm saying I have to use the row inside the container. You know very well that grid system, how can you create and how the grid system works. I'm saying I have the column. I'm saying it's auto adjust. I'm saying I have to use the column. Fine. I'm using the code here. Now go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, you have a navigation bar. But if you click on this one, so now as you can see, you have some few contacts here. And left side, you have about us and something like that. Now I'm going to use the icons here. Let's suppose for now it's fine. You have to use the nav bar or your brand here. I'm saying my brand name. If you want to add the image, you can also use the image here. So it's fine. Fine. I'm saying home. I'm saying about us, about, and also I'm saying this is users sections or the profile section, because these are the dummy links. So I'm going to disable this one. Also, sorry, remove this one. Now you have just created the navigation bar. Now, if you view this one, so now as you can see, you have the margin here. So how can you do that? I'm saying here margin bottom 5. So go to the page, refresh the page, fine. Now you just need to create the text here like this. So this is I think H1, and this is the text, and these are the two buttons. So now I'm going to copy. Okay, now you have missed one thing, because you have the background. This is the background. So how can you create this one? I'm saying I have a div, and here I'm going to place this code in a particular div. Now I'm saying I have a class. Let's suppose nav custom background. Fine. I have just used this class here. Now I'm saying I have to use the custom styling. I'm going to create a custom styling for this particular theme. I'm saying link type extra, and I'm saying href. I'm saying go to the section css, and I'm saying style.css. Since this file is not exist, so that's why definitely it will give you the error. Right click, inspect element, as you can see console, and I think this address, this is style sheet. Refresh. So now as you can see, you have the error because you have to use this one. Why you use this one, we are not going to teach you, because this is not a basics. We have considered that you have the basic knowledge of the HTML and also the CSS with uh, JavaScript. Okay, now since this file is not available, I'm going to create this file in the CSS sections. File CSS. Fine. I have just created. Now gone. Now I'm saying I'm just calling this class here. I'm saying background red. So go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, the background is red. And here, as you can see, that you also have the background color. You are using the background color here, BG light. So that's why you have to remove the BG light. This one. To remove the background. Now you are using the colors like that. Now how can you customize these colors? I'm saying in the navigations bar, let's suppose this is my custom NV. I'm saying in the custom NV, find find the anchors, and I'm saying color white. Fine. So if I say not important, fresh, it's fine. You can also rename this one. So now I have a color picker. I'm going to pick the color now. So this is the exact color. The exact color. This is the exact color. Fresh, as you can see, now you have just created the navigation bar. If you resize this one, so now as you can see, you have the button here, but you have to also use this button as a white background. So now as you can see, this is the background. If I say that color white, not important. Okay, where is this is the button? I'm saying if I use the color navbar toggle, so this is the color. If I'm saying I have to use the white color, so this is the white color. Wait a few seconds. See, just show me this one. If I say that this is the color, I'm saying color or background white. Fine. As you can see, just copy this one and paste this code here, and you have to use the background white. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, you have used the white as a background. Fine. You can also change this color by using, where is the button? This is the button. This is the search button. It's a success. If you are using the info, you can also use the info. So it's fine. Or you can just define your own class like XYZ, copy this class and paste this class here. And now I'm saying background red or color black. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, if I'm not using the border, I'm saying border none. Go to the page, refresh the page. If I'm not using the border radius, I'm saying none, or we have to use this border radius, I'm saying inherit. As you can see, it's working fine. So it's up to you how can you manage. For now, I'm saying I have this row. So I'm going to create another row here, here, here. Now copy. Now I'm going to create the same code. Okay, now I'm saying that I'm going to use the content layer. So go to the page, refresh the page. So now I'm saying H1, and here I'm going to copy the code, paste the code here, and here I'm saying paragraph. I'm going to copy the code, paste the code here, and here I'm okay. Fine. Now go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's fine. If I'm saying that text center, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, the text is center. But now, as you can see, this is the code, and why it's showing you the 100%, because since you are using the 100% column, as you can see, this is a column. That's why it's showing you this one. If you right click, inspect element, so as you can see, they are using this one paragraph, and they are using that font size, font weight, and also font color. Here, as you can see, it's saying call MD Max Auto. So as you can see, Max Auto. So you can also use the Max Auto here. It's saying margin left and right. It's up to you how you are using. If you can also do this one, this thing, MX Auto. I think this class is available. MX MX Auto. Go to the page, refresh the page. Working. And now it's not working. I'm saying, okay, you can also follow this code, but now we are creating from the scratch. So that's why I'm saying call MD for now. It's fine. Now you just need to offset your columns here. I think this is the 4 column. Offset is 4 column and offset 4. So now I'm saying offset 4 column. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see now, you are at the middle. So it's fine. Fine, you have to use 2 buttons. I'm saying buttons, and the name of the buttons main all button, and I have to use the class button, and it's primary. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, this is the button. You also have a second button. I'm saying the second button here. Second button. Secondary. Go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, you have a second button. Now, as you can see, you have a gap, and this is the gap. And now, as you can see, this is the gap. Since this is a thumbnail, go to the page. Sorry, this is not a thumbnail, it's a card. So I'm saying this is the card. Copy this card. And as you can see, 4 plus 4 plus 4, 8 columns. Since these are the 8 columns, now I'm saying I'm going to create another row. You can also create the row here, here, or you can use the container separately. I'm saying I'm going to copy the entire code, paste the code here, and since we are using the 4 column, I'm saying 4 column. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm using the card there. Cards, go to the page, refresh the page. This is the card. If I copy this, okay, I'm going to use the, I'm saying go to the assets, images, and I'm saying 1.jpg. So fine, this is a title. So since this is the button group, so that's why I'm saying we also have a button groups here. So button groups, so copy this one, paste the button groups here, remove a single button. Okay, now fine, as you can see, these are the buttons, and you have to use the button. Wait for a few seconds, please. Okay, now I'm saying outline secondary, and I'm going to copy this one. Refresh. So now as you can see, these are the 2 buttons. Here, as you can see, these are the 2 buttons. So if you add this bad boy, you can also add this bad boy here. I'm saying This is the text. Now refresh the page. As you can see, it's fine. It's also fine. It's up to you how you are managing your code. So as you can see, this is the container, and since you are using the container, so this is the container. Fine. So now it's container. You can also copy paste the code, or you can use the this. I'm saying class, that's right, or end. That means I'm talking about the right. So you can see this is the right. If I say that I have to use this one, a lot of ways we can also do that. If I'm saying that this is the positions, absolute, it's fine. And I'm saying and 0, so you can see and 0. And if I'm going to use the wait for a few seconds, I'm saying from bottom 10 pixel. I'm saying just open this one. So as you can see, this is the 10 pixel. Just one pixel. Oh, okay. I'm saying right 1 pixel. Okay, fine. For now, it's fine. I'm going to add the bottom. So here is the I'm saying BTM of this is the class, and I'm going to use the class here. Refresh. As you can see, it's now working. I'm saying that padding and 1. As you can see, we are using the padding. That's 2. It's fine. Now, as you can see, these are the similars. So this is the fourth column. Now I'm going to use the fourth column here, and also the here. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, these are the four columns. But so right click, why it's saying you have to remove the width. This style. So this is the custom width, this one, and also this one. That's why it was not working. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's now. So since you have 1, 2, now what you just need to copy and paste the 1, 2, and now refresh the page. So now as you can see, you have 3 ones similar to this one. Okay, now here as you can see, this is the footer. You can use the footer, and now I'm saying I'm going to use the container, and this is the class row, and in the row definitely you have to place the column. Sorry, I'm saying it's auto adjust. Fine, you can also define 2 columns, but for now I'm defining only 1 column. So here I'm saying this is the paragraph. Fine. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, this is the paragraph, and I'm going to use the, let's suppose for now I'm saying BR. So these are the BR. So you can easily understand. This is the footer. Fine. As you can see, you can also, these are the separate things, this and this one. So I'm saying this paragraph will start and ends here. Now I have to start another paragraph, and another paragraph ends here. So go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, now it's fine. So these are the two links, this one and this one. So this one, I'm going to create a link. This is href, and now I'm saying homepage. So till here. And now, as you can see, getting started guide. So here I'm saying anchor href, and here I'm saying href close here. Close here. It's fine. So now go to the page, refresh the page. So now, as you can see, you have just created a simple theme from scratch. So it's up to you how you are managing and how you are creating. We have not used any external styling. So now, as you can see, this is the styling for this particular page. Okay, so this is the responsive theme. As you can see, it's responsive. Fine, you can also use the overflow or something like that. It's totally up to you.